Well, everyone, it's that special time of the year, as it always is, where we talk about the games that happened all from last year. It's Game of the Year. That's right, everyone. Let's go. Give it a round of applause for games. Come on, everyone.
Video
Give it a round of
games!
applause.
I love video games. Video
There were
games
too
are
many
good
of them.
again.
There were
Can
too
you
many
believe
of
it?
them.
There were. Fuck, this year was... It literally, like, 90% of the difficulty of writing my Game of the Year is a combination of dyslexia, but also there were just too many games to pick from. Like, way too many games.
Yeah, it's been a year. It's also been, I think, for us here at Gamesline, it's been a year of like really figuring out what we want to do for the Game of the Year stuff going forward. And I think we had a really really awesome Game of the Year this year. Huge shout out to Crystal, who organized most of it.
Yeah.
You did an awesome job.
Amazing fucking work.
Thank you.
Getting so many great guest lists, organizing the posting on all of that. Gargantuan task. You jumped at it like I've never seen anyone else jump at it. So again, like, thank you. That was really awesome. It's good because I very specifically wanted to make sure we didn't like delay Game of the Year multiple months as we've done previous years, and so, yay, we actually got it done by January.
Yeah,
yay.
I mean, we're technically finishing in February, but what a perfect way to finish.
Let's not overthink it.
This is the finale essentially of our Game of the Year stuff.
And what today is so our big thing when it came to Game of the Year in previous years was we always had really fun deliberations. Fun, stressful, very intense deliberations about all of the games of the year. We didn't want to keep doing that specifically because having Game of the Year as a competition didn't quite feel exactly like what we wanted to do for like Game of the Year going forward. But like, we still wanted to capture the feeling of just sitting down and talking about video games.
Yeah. So
we went ahead. We put the call out to everyone. This isn't the only crew that's going to be here. People are going to dip in and dip out. And we just have a whole schedule comprised of like, hey, here's all of the stuff that was really popular last year that we really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, not just popular things, just things we wanted to talk about.
Right. Like important and poignant topics of 2025 when it comes to gaming. And Crystal, I would love it if you let us off with, I think, probably one of the most important topics, which is the quote-unquote friend type game. We're not using the S word here.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to the S word, but a lot of people don't like it, so it's better to be polite. Yeah, this was certainly the year of friend type games for me. That was kind of the theme of my list, is that anything can be a friend type game, even a completely single player game. You can play it with someone else and you can talk about it. And I found that games are just better that way, at least for me. And the proper friend type game I enjoyed most of the year. And certainly the only one that actually came out in 2025 is Peak. Did you play much of Peak?
Oh yeah, I played a bunch of Peak with pals. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up some important B-roll. But yeah, no, this was a game I think pretty much everyone played to some extent. Like, I knew people who were playing it single player just because they liked it.
Yeah, one of my friends was just like sharing their screen constantly in Discord as they achievement hunted everything in the game. And yeah, they were just going in single player doing like trying to do like the speed run to the top kind of stuff and just it was always like an entertaining time to watch. Like I think this year had a couple of these games that took off that I've enjoyed myself. Peak, I've only played a couple of times with friends, but it's been it's such a joyously weird experience between that and I think it was Repo earlier in the year, which was
Yeah.
also another one I played with friends pretty regularly, and just like it's it's nice having a game that's good and fun
Right.
that you can always just go, hey friends, who wants to get together and play Peak? And you'll have like 20 friends going, yeah, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there.
Yeah,
Did Peak
one
ever
thing
get
I've
any?
really sorry, I interrupted you, Skull.
No, go ahead.
One thing I really liked about Peak is the positional audio, which is also something I really like about VR chat. Um, being able to hear people struggling and screaming so far off in the distance really adds a lot of atmosphere. That's also the best part of Lethal Company. And it's such like a simple but effective trick, which is like these are sometimes called slop because they're kind of cheaply made. I think Peak was like produced within a couple months or something. But I think it kind of speaks to the value of a cheaply, quickly produced game because sometimes a game doesn't need to be that complex to be really entertaining.
Yeah.
My question was, did Peak ever get? Because a lot of these types of games are, the whole enjoyment for most people is playing them with friends, with people. Like obviously you can play them by yourself, but
Right.
the core of them is playing them with other players. But they're always limited by this is a 4-player game or this is an 8-player game because of server limits or just how the game's designed. Did Peak ever get like an unrestricted like player count mod or
Oh
something?
yeah, totally. Me and my friends played with that like a bunch of times because
Okay.
it's
Oh,
like because it's like, what if we just wanted to have 8 people all running around at once? And it's like, obviously it sort of messes with the balance of the game, but it is still a game that like will that will like what's the best way of putting it? The fact that it is just a challenging game still doesn't make it so like even if you have a ton of people, that doesn't totally break it.
I only did one play session with friends, and it was like a 2-hour trek up the mountain where I characteristically died in the lava in the volcano.
The volcano
Um,
section is brutal.
it was really tragic because like I walked up a beanstalk that somebody had dropped, and I was at
Mhm.
the very tip of it, but it was at like a 45-degree angle, and the game does not love
yeah.
standing on very small spires, and so I just slipped and fell. It's really funny.
Uh,
Um,
I did play with a extended player count mod. I usually trust my friends to set up all that stuff, and then I just download
Right.
the text file they send me. I'm like, okay, boss, you got it.
yep.
But it does make the game a little easier, but I think it also enhances what I think is the biggest strength of the game, which is that to get up this mountain, you gotta reach out your hand to people and you gotta grab other people's hands.
Right.
And
Mhm.
that feels good every single time when you see a jump and you think, there's no way. There's no way I can make this jump. And
Right.
then you grab onto someone's hand, it seems to magnetize at the perfect moment, and then you make that jump.
Oh yeah.
And
The
both people
thing
get to feel good.
the thing we found about like doing the enhanced player the extended player count was like um it enhanced the feeling of like groups getting very clicky and like some of them going up one route together and another route going up another group going up another route together. It just becomes this mess of like trying to figure out where everyone went and trying to get them all up at the same time because they've all decided to spread out. And I think that's such an interesting feeling you don't get with like just the initial like 4 players.
Yeah,
This
yeah. I really like having subgroups in multiplayer games, and I think
Yes.
that's something that virtual spaces really afford in a way that, say, a Discord call does not.
Right.
Correct.
You can't really have more than like 6 people in a Discord call without people just talking over each other all the time. But in a virtual space like Peak or Lethal or VR chat or something, you can split off into little groups. You can like go between groups, and that's the same way that a real social gathering would work.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah, the
goes.
footage is a little laggy. I do see it. Do you want me to take that?
Sure.
Yeah. Who's it? Oh, were you hosting that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Let me. How do I? Do I just hang up that one?
This kind of looks like found footage of Peak.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
This goes back to what Crystal was saying about the proximity chat being core to the experience, but
Yeah.
extended player count mods in these games, they do massively shatter the balance if they're also not like if it's just we've raised the player count from 4 to yes. But the thing is, I don't ever play these games for the victory condition, really. Like, I don't go into Lethal Company going, we need to hyper optimize every single run so we can get the maximum amount of profit. And I didn't play Peak with the goal of, I want to climb that mountain. These are shenanigans generators. I
Right.
play these games to get up into hijinks with friends.
I don't know if I'm allowed to unmute this, but
I have dropped more than a few people off a mountain before. like there honestly is nothing more fun than just like fucking over one of your friends in this game. It's 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 just fun. You don't have to, not everything has to be like the biggest, like we need victory. Sometimes it's fun to just be like, nah, fuck you.
These are not games where you're meant to deeply care and consider the stakes of the game. Half
That's
the
where I
fun is
can
the journey.
finally not deeply care about my friends and just throw them off a mountain. It's the one place I get to be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean that's a design principle that went back to at least I think New Super Mario Brothers, where
right.
they intentionally let you ruin each other. And I think that actually
Mhm.
goes back further to like Four Swords or even I guess Super Smash Brothers. And it's stayed good. That's a classic design principle.
It's we
Yeah.
should every game should be able to be played like Dokapon Kingdom. Your friends should hate you at the end of it.
Yeah, no, like I think that's something, especially because I think like a lot of what we're calling the sort of friend slop experience has sort of been I think like the origin point has been Lethal Company. And Lethal Company's like big oeuvre was like was centered around this sort of like physical comedy. This idea that like uh everything that's happening can be like just as like the experiences that you have in the game are just as important as the experiences you have with your other players. So like they intentionally give you tools that like if you use them with a friend, it's gonna like, fuck with them on purpose. Stuff along those lines. Like it's interesting. It's interesting seeing how that's sort of evolved across multiple games. Um Peak itself is very, very cooperative, but it does still give you the opportunity to do something really stupid and ridiculous. Like the cannon is a really, really useful item at times. Um, but also you're firing your friend out of a cannon.
Uh,
Yeah.
I just like how these games they allow for shenanigans and hijinks, but they
You're right.
also allow for them to still just be games. Like I remember, like my biggest memory from Lethal Company was when we were in like one of the like modded maps that people had added, and I was in base. I was literally in John's favorite location, the sewers, and there was a monster who was like coming after me, and I didn't have any support, but like I knew people were dead and were watching me, and I was able to like jump over the monster Mario style multiple times to get out of the sewers and escape.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I only played Peak for one session, as I mentioned, so I don't know like the tech, but I would see a friend constantly link his videos of him doing canon diagnostics on himself.
Well, yeah, because the on top of the cannon being a very silly item, it's also one that broke the game for a little while because you can if you use it incorrectly, you can send yourself over the mountain.
Oh dear.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's also very very funny when you see it. Let me see if I can find a clip of the cannon glitch. Hold on. Peak cannon glitch. Are y'all still seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm doing
yeah.
this?
Yeah,
Okay.
you are
Okay,
coming
good.
through perfect.
How to do cannon glitch. I just want to see it. I just want to see a video. I don't want to see. You can still do it after the patch. How to perform cannon glitch at Peak. I don't need that. I just need a clip. Hold on, let's go to shorts.
There was a 60-second one.
They are very short. How to beat Peak in 60 seconds. I just want to see. I just want to see it. I don't need someone talking over it.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me hear.
Hello, this is me, George, and I am here showing you the cannon glitch. Hello. Sure. Hey, what? Cannon glitch. Right now, we're gonna win the game.
So this is what people were doing to speedrun the game for a
Oh,
little
yep,
while.
I like how that the canon has White Mage Final Fantasy aesthetics and also Kirby aesthetics.
You notice that this person is constantly playing dead. That's to remove his. That's like to remove his actual physics, so that just ragdolls him. And he's made it to the peak. He's calling for the flare. It's tough to tell in the first person view. It's a lot funnier when you're with friends and you can just see them getting ejected out of a cannon going a million miles an hour.
Video games.
They have landed and they're completely in death, and they win the game. Hooray! We did it.
What a hero.
Anyways.
But no, like I am so glad at the preponderance of games that are hang out with your friend games, and
Yeah.
it's just really nice to have a genre of that. Like, yeah, a lot of them are like for a while were being made just like I hope someone streams our game so it gets incredibly popular. But hey, guess why people were streaming those games? Because they're fun. It's fun to hang out with your friends.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, what was
and
the
it
other
worked.
one that came out later? It was the wizard duel, the mage, where you have to like speak
Mage Arena. Yeah, that one is really cool. I don't know if I'd necessarily characterize that one as friend slot or like a friend type game as we're calling it. But it is like, it is something you can just group up with your friends and just like mess around with. It's a
Yeah.
But also when me and my friends were playing it, we like got grouped up against like people who were really good at the game. And which is
That's
crazy because it's like
terrifying.
it is terrifying. People who are really, really good at just going Thunderbolt at you and just getting you absolutely ruined.
Crystal, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say that a lot of these are sold for a pretty cheap price, and the classic
Yes.
meme about this game is like, "Oh, it's only $7." Your Discord friend tells you, and there's just a new $7 you have to pay every week. But honestly, like, I would rather just pay $7 for Peak than play a free to play game that's constantly trying to suck me dry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I like that doesn't bother me at all. Like I love that prospect of just like, hey, RV there yet comes out. And the idea is you and your friends need to somehow get an RV across a really, really dangerous landscape. And it's just like it's silly, it's fun. You're doing a whole bunch of silly tasks to learn how to balance this very large object across things it shouldn't be able to go past. And you're getting chased down by bears the entire time. and and that sort of like cooperative gaming hasn't really been a thing like previously before. You know what I mean? Like the tabletop space, you and your friend set off on a quest that another friend makes for you.
Yeah.
Most games before this, the common multiplayer was, here's our team deathmatch. It wasn't until like, you know, PUBG and Fortnite that even battle royales became a thing, where it's like you go in as a group and then you like try and take out everyone. It was always like it was always very combat focused, and
Yeah, like
now there's this idea of just like, we're going in and we're just gonna play around for a while.
you
Mhm.
also had a bunch that were like basically trying to be mini Diablos and such.
Right.
Mhm.
More
A lot-
combat focus.
right.
Yeah, I really like that these games tend to not have a like sharply refined loop to them. They're very focused on just the basic appeal of having some physics and some models in a space.
Hmm.
Yeah. These games
I
need to
think
have proximity chat, emotes, and ragdoll physics. And
Yeah.
that's
you just get those three cores and you can just go anywhere from there.
Mhm.
That's the thing
Like,
we learned from that's the thing we learned from Dark RP. You know, this is what people were doing at Gary's Mod servers back in the day. It's just
Mhm.
like they would they would go in and do a whole bunch of incredibly silly activities just because.
yeah.
And obviously this isn't as freeform. This is a very set, like, you have a goal, you go and do these things. Um and what's the way? What am I trying to say? You have a goal. You go and do these things, um, but you were saying, Crystal, that it's nice that they don't necessarily have a set. They usually don't have like a high level loop, and I think a lot of these games sort of like live and die on the vine of like, okay, if you do get really good at this game, like, is it still fun to play? And I think there are a lot of them that sort of fail in that regard. Or you become something like Lethal Company, where the one lone developer that's working on this game is constantly putting out updates to at least entice people, like, hey, here's something new for you to check out, like, next time you want to come back to it.
Yeah.
Um,
um and it's interesting to see them evolve in those ways, I think, because I think this is a genre that we need.
Mhm.
this
absolutely.
this should exist. This should continue to exist. um I think we all like I think we all like getting fed the slop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and I'll go back to it though, but the proximity chat is what
Yeah.
the most important thing about these games, because
Hmm.
like if you're all in a Discord call, it isn't as entertaining hearing someone scream, "Oh fuck, I'm dying. I'm about to die." What is funny is when you can just barely hear someone way off in the distance going, "Oh my god, I'm fucking dying. What's going on? Oh fuck, help. You know, it's it's this delightful thing of just this quiet sound of somebody scream panicking in the background, as like that happened when I was playing Repo with friends. Is somebody went off and freelanced to the complete opposite side of the map searching for the last delivery spot.
Right.
and like, they were just freelance. All of a sudden you just really, really quietly hear this panicked screaming, and it killed me. It was one of my favorite experiences, just because of like the proximity chat is what made that work. Or even then, if you're playing you know all of those games have it, the phasmophobia moment of you just
Right.
see one of your friends die and you don't even hear it because they're way in the house and you're way outside, just like, and then you just sit there going, "Oh, what happened?" And then when you're all in chat later, as you can all hear each other again when the level ends, it's like, "Oh, what happened? What the fuck?" It's just it leads to moments like that. You don't know what happened. There's something fun, and unique about it.
Lorelai, you have here on the docket Dynasty fucking Warriors. This is
I
your
do.
you are the Dynasty Warriors head. I
I
know how
am.
much you love your Musos.
I
I would
I am
love
the Koei Tecmo freak.
I want to give you this space. I want you to feel comfortable and tell us everything about your favorite Dynasty Warrior.
I still fucking could not believe frickin' late in the year, all of a sudden we get an announcement for like, hey, we're getting 2 Dynasty Warriors games at the beginning of 2025. And me, the person who loves these games and was just like, I was content to have, like, I thought the Dynasty Warriors was just dead as a franchise because, like, they hadn't done them for years. They've been struggling to a level of, like, they've been, like, really struggling. Dynasty Warriors 9 was a disaster. Warriors Orochi 4 is very, very not popular with the community. Which Warriors Orochi was like one of their big things. And like the only thing that was left Muso wise coming out was like the Zelda stuff, Fire Emblem, all crossovers. So when all of a sudden I get, hey, you're getting Dynasty Warriors Origins. Also, we're doing a fucking roguelike. um, I'm sitting there like, wait, what? I'm getting 2 games coming out within a week of each other, and they're 2 different games. They're totally different from one another. Warriors Abyss is absolute. It is slop. We were talking about slop. This game is slop. It's cheap. You can unlock it's easy to, you don't need to buy an expensive version of it. You just get the cheapest version of it. It's super easy to unlock every character. It does not take much effort. Who would have thought that, like, in a year when Hades 2 came out and all these other, like, really, really well regarded roguelikes, the Dynasty Warriors one ended up being what I liked the most. There's something weird with the balance. First of all, the translation is absolute dog shit. It's fucking terrible. It's like, do you want to challenge Lubu? I'm like, no, I chose him as my fucking character. What are you talking about? Why is this like this? But goddamn, every character plays differently enough that it ends up being like an absolute blast. And once you learn how to build a build, it's like you finish stage, you get to pick between 3 or 4 characters with each with different like stat boosts. So you build up specific things like you would any roguelike. You have your builds and stuff. But sometimes some of the most dogshit characters have like the best summon abilities, which whenever you hit your secondary button going, it summons a person in your timeline. And so some of the worst characters have like an ability where if you build a stat up high enough or have enough characters that are related to them, it summons every single character from that faction when you summon them to do their mega attack. So all of a sudden this character that you normally wouldn't think about adding to your roster as one of your bonuses becomes the most powerful thing in the game. And you just melt the last boss in 2 seconds half the time.
That's cool.
It's very stupid, but its entire core is we just wanted to make something fun. And it is that. I put like 500 hours into it because it's just like a full run takes about 40 minutes, 30, depending on how good your build gets, you can finish it in 30. Because there's just 4 layers of 10 levels each. or of 8 levels each. My brain, and different. The first 3 bosses are always the same. The 4th one can be either Lubu or the main like Lubu of Samurai Warriors, and then you get a super last boss after that. And then they just kept updating it, adding characters, adding entire game modes. Like they added an endless dungeon that just you go through and you go until you run out of time. And
That's
you get
cool.
time by going through the stages and getting, depending on how many kills you get or how fast you finish a stage, you add time or lose time. And it ended up like sucking a lot of time from me. And it's just, it works. It's the kind of thing that shouldn't work, but it fucking works. And it led to way too much fun for me this year. And then you had Dynasty Warriors Origins come out a week later. And who would have thought combining like some of the combat ideas from an EO game with a Dynasty Warriors game, like focusing on like counterattacks and stuff like that. And then also focusing on, hey, you are one character and you are experiencing the story. The story is good and it very, very, very like detailed and long. Like that game took me a lot of hours to do everything. And like the challenges. This is I used to say that Wo Long had the best Lubu one-on-one. No, this game has it now.
Interesting.
There's a fight against Lubu that you do that is in fucking credible.
I know how much you personally love to fight Lubu.
I do. That's the only fight in Wo Long that I actually think of fondly. I think it's the best designed fight they've ever done until now, where the game just like you brought one of my favorite franchises back from the dead. And it still has, like, even if you throw this game on easy, there's enough depth that you can still have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Which part of the fun of a Dynasty Warriors game is, for me, was always just like, I'm in a bad mood. I want to get home. I want to put this on very easy and look at my KO count get up to like 5,000. This game, you could still do that. But you can't just completely turn your brain off like a Dynasty Warriors in the past.
Right.
Like, and that is what feels good. Or you could put it on the hardest difficulty and get some, try to do the challenges they have to unlock super weapons and super horses and stuff like that.
Right.
And you get some of the hardest challenges they've ever put in one of these games. It's weird talking about a Dynasty Warriors game and talking about the extreme level of depth they have and strategic like decision making you actually have to make. Like you had to do that on the hardest chaos, like the chaos difficulty of previous games, which was the only time you ever had to actually pay attention. And even then, once you got good, you could turn your brain off. But in this one, like, you can't even turn your brain off on easy difficulty half the time because there's interesting stuff happening. There's, hey, actually, I do need to go over to the side and take that base so that other armies can get there so we can do a pincer attack, because without that, it's going to take an extra 10 minutes to cut through the amount of soldiers in this giant army. But God, it's very nice having a game like this again, and it's just continuing. They're like Dynasty Warriors is an alive franchise again, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
I looked up the one Dynasty Warriors character I know because I played him all the time way back in Dynasty Warriors 4. And I look at his Abyss design, and like the only difference there is like, oh, he's a little blonder now. But
Yep.
then I look at his origin design, and Gan Ning is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they did. It's not. It's like it's not yassifying.
Oh, they
like-
yassified everyone. This is yassified Dynasty Warriors. It truly is.
Like, can I should be able to hit this, right?
All of the conversation
Yeah, go for it.
scenes with uh-oh, I think we lost you.
Huh?
Oh,
No,
I'm looking
we're
at
still here.
All
I
of the
just turned off the
conversation
speaker, that's all
scenes
it
with Lu Bu are the
Oh.
gayest things in the history of mankind. It's so fucking funny.
Oh,
He
hang
is
on.
so fucking horny for you. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Oh, it's still
So-
did. Oh,
No,
you're
I'm
you
getting-
turned off your video. Okay, interesting.
There you go. So there's my boy Gan Ning, and
Oh, yeah.
right.
Right.
Okay,
A good
let me-
proper gun name, yes.
And then here's what he looks like in his
yeah.
origins. I'm not used to seeing him with like long hair that's down and in a ponytail. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he's supposed like I always saw him as like the kind of punk rock asshole.
He's a pirate, so yeah.
I
makes
know,
sense.
and now he's just he's just a sexy boy.
Anyway, I'm Gan Ning now.
Nakara says this is the year of Fujo excellence. Interesting.
No, truly,
What did she mean by that?
but truly, 2 years like 2 good Dynasty Warriors games. My dead franchises are alive, and it's so nice that like I just kept getting fed. I just kept getting fed good shit, and the fact that Dynasty Warriors is back and good has me so fucking excited for the Dynasty Warriors 3 remaster that they just showed off the combat of, and it's just Dynasty Warriors Origins, but with the same maps as Dynasty Warriors 3. I'm so fucking happy.
Scott, I don't know how you managed to make yourself permanently highlighted.
Oh, I don't know either. Let me switch back. See if that fixes it.
Nope, now
Okay,
you're
hold on.
permanently
Wait,
highlighted.
hold on. Let me try this. Let me try that. And that. No,
I don't even notice.
You're just sort of the most important person on the screen right now.
Yeah, we are all Skull now.
I mean, it looks on my end. It looks no different than how it did before. Like I'm even in the same spot.
Oh! You are the most prominent figure we have here.
Oh dear.
I don't know what button you pressed, but you know what?
All I pressed was the share a screen with others button on the toolbar.
Right.
And then I switched what I had been sharing to the Gan Ning images.
Huh.
That's all I
you
did.
just have a screen share up. Okay, yeah, you should probably switch that to just like an OBS virtual camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me
That should fix it. But yeah, you have a few more minutes left, Lorelai. If there's anything else you want to share on Dynasty Warriors.
Like honestly, Koei Tecmo just has me so fucking happy right now. I'm sorry, like I am not allowed to talk about stuff, but good God, the game of the generation shit is not going to end anytime soon. It's just getting a new game. Oh my God. But no, I like if you have any interest in a Muso game, like if you have enjoyed like when they actually hired writers to do Fire Emblem 3 Houses and made a cool Muso game out of it that has writing, if you enjoyed any of those spin-off games, try out Origins. It's so worth the time. Like if you want a good, like even just fun time, Warriors Abyss is like, how much is it right now?
Good question.
I gotta look, but it goes on super sale all the every once in a while, and it's
$24.99.
yeah, it's like
Hey, that's right. That's Ryu Hayabusa. Hey, hold on. Hey,
yeah,
hold on.
all of the
Wait a minute.
DLC has been the character drops have been free. The only thing they do is sell cosmetic packs. So you just
Hold
get
on.
the regular fucking edition. Oh my god, the fucking those characters are all fucking amazing. Momiji is fucking broken. Oh, it rules.
What consoles is it best on?
Honestly, every version of it runs shockingly well. The PC version is what I play on, but all of them run well.
Word.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever system you are interested in, it's just such a fun game. Like that's what it is. It's fun. Like I said it in my game of the year post, the localization is not good. The story is non-existent. If you care about story, play Hades 2. But if you care about just fucking fun, Warriors Abyss is just a fucking
that's cute.
blast.
That's cute.
Like,
doing the like the NES like of Ryu Hayabusa intro. That's cool. That's cute. I like that.
It's very it's everything about it is just kind of a love letter to all of their stuff. And the thing I
Right.
like about the characters they added a bunch of Atelier characters and they're so much fun to play as. Like,
That is fun.
and it's just stupid. It's stupid and fun. And I want more games that are just stupid and fun.
Spencer, I'm gonna say your camera is just off now.
Yeah, I've turned it off because I was gonna put the OBS virtual camera and the camera's going, but it's not showing up when I try to put it in the.
That's strange. Well,
Like,
while you're trying to figure that out, do you want to tell us all about Silksong?
oh sure. So I was never really a Hollow Knight guy. I played it when it came out, and I played it for like 30 minutes, and I had that, this is a great game. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this. Let me put it back down and come back later, and then years went by, and I never picked it up again. So then I went back and played it.
I had as well.
And so then I played it like all the way through, and I was like, this game's really good. But I still wasn't like a die-hard Hollow Knight fan. Like, it's a great game. I enjoyed playing it, but when they said like, "Oh, Silksong is going to be coming out," I was not one of the people who was like, "Oh, we're going to get Silksong news this year. Silksong is going to come out." I just fully just like put that out of my mind. It's like it'll come out when it comes out, and then they decided like late August, I think it was, hey, Silksong is coming out in 2 weeks, and everybody lost their minds. And I would love if everybody did that. It would go like people would lose their minds. Like if Bethesda goes like, yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is on February 7th.
Right.
That would just be really fun, but it would also like melt people's brains, I feel like. So
I don't know. I think like I don't know. Here's how stupid I am: is I hear you say something like people are probably excited for Elder Scrolls 6, and I'm like, I don't know if they are. But I know that's true to some to an extent. That's probably like a lot of people bought Starfield and were disappointed in it, but like a lot of people are probably gonna buy Skyrim too. You know what I mean?
But like the idea of like not having a whole marketing cycle.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Just dropping it like, hey, it's coming out in 2 weeks, is something that I thought I just thought it was funny and noteworthy about its release, considering this is a game that's been more anticipated. This game was like the new generation of Duke Nukem Forever, but this is like the good ending version of that because Silksong's actually a really good game.
Yeah.
If you've never played a Hollow Knight game, I definitely recommend playing the first one, not because you need like the story context. This isn't really like a story heavy game. It's like the From Software suite of action RPGs. Like it's the mood, it's the vibe, it's the tone of things, not so much as like there's not really like it's not heavy on like plot details. You don't need to know stuff. But if you play Silksong and then you go back and play Hollow Knight, you'll realize, oh, Silksong is like the distilled, refined version of what they did on that first pass.
Right.
And Hollow Knight was already a fairly polished game. That's why it was so well received. Because this was around because Hollow Knight came out around the era where everybody was trying to make. They were copying, maybe not copying, but they were going like, we want to have like a difficulty system like Dark Souls where there's body recovery when you die and there's stakes when you don't recover your body. And Hollow Knight was that version put into a Metroidvania, and it worked really well. And then Silksong comes along and blows everything out of the water that Hollow Knight did. Like the combat feels much more fluid. The movement is more fun. You get way more tools and upgrades that not only enhance the combat but also the exploration, which those are the two big things of this genre. The story is also more improved. It's more involved. The game is massive. Like I was 30 hours in and I was still finding new areas.
Ooh.
And it's not that the areas themselves are particularly big. It's simply that there's like 17 upgrades for moving around the world, and they're all over the place. And areas that seem like, oh, I've gotten everything in this area. No, you haven't. Go back there. You're missing something. Hornet plays much more different than the Knight from Hollow Knight. She basically gets different like weapon styles. Like she starts off with her regular needle, and then you get like different weapons based off things like you can just get the short sword that the Knight used in Hollow Knight if you like that playstyle. But she also has like a drill weapon, a scythe weapon that focuses on getting energy from hits, and they all have special powers too. Like I know my roommate was really fond of the witch weapon, where she basically has like a whip needle sword. So she also has sub weapons, which is weird that like when I saw that she had them, it fits her character because she's like a crafty, spidery character with her design. And she also uses them in her boss fight in Hollow Knight. But it was like just hitting like I played through all of Hollow Knight and didn't ever notice that there weren't sub weapons from Castlevania in this game inspired by Castlevania, and it just works out so well. There's one criticism I saw with Silksong, which is that this is almost like a nothing criticism, honestly, but it's like it's technically less customizable than the builds you could get in Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight had the charm system where you just like slot in charms and they augment your abilities, whereas here those weapon types you get, they have preset slots that work for preset upgrades. So you can have like there's one weapon that I really like, which is the drill weapon, but it has it's all about using the gadgets. So it has more gadget slots and for sub weapons, but it doesn't have any of like the really powerful passive ability gadgets that you can get. And it's like, while that is technically true, the builds in Hollow Knight Original basically boil down to, do you want to use the sword or do you want to use magic? Or do you want to like do travel fast or do you want to like get resources? Whereas here it's like the builds feel more substantial on the combat side of things. So it overall just feels like a much more fleshed out experience. And then I think the last thing I'll say before I open up the floor to more questions, I guess, is there isn't a single aspect of this game that you don't feel was worked on for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
Every animation of the characters, every sound effect, the UI, how the like all of the like animations, because there's not just like animations like the character animations in games and stuff, but stuff like the actual visual animations that they've produced for this game.
Yeah.
All of it is like, this doesn't look like a game that would have taken 7 or 8 years to make.
Right. That's sort of the story about it, though, is like they weren't working on Hollow Knight they weren't working on Silksong for a really long time because it was in development hell, and it was just like, There was like stuff behind the scenes that was making it like difficult to work on. They were working on it for that long. Why are you still what is going on here?
I don't know.
uh like it wasn't that it was necessarily in development hell for so long. It's that like they kept thinking about things they wanted to add and then adding it into the
Yeah.
game. Like it's this sort of platonic ideal of game development where Hollow Knight was such a massive success for them that they were just able to work on the game that they wanted to make for years, and they were able to coast on the sales of Hollow Knight because of it.
Yeah.
And then they just put out a really good game.
It's
You know
it's
what I
kind
mean?
of a shock that games take longer when
Right.
your developers are able to go, "Hey, I had an idea, let's add it."
Mm-hmm.
And also, "Hey, it works, so let's add it. And let's make this game the game we want to make rather than force it into hey, we have to have this game out in 2 years.
Right.
Oh, wait, we need the sequel in a year from now." It's it's nice to see. Like,
When there's a moment early on when you unlock a quest board so you can take side quests from characters, which is not a thing in Hollow Knight. Like, there are like side activities to do in Hollow Knight, but it was not like a here's the side quest of go collect like 15 drop items from these enemies and
Uh-oh.
return them. And when I saw that happen in Silksong, I was like, oh god, there's a whole space here for modders to go in and add their own custom quest lines and repeatable little activities to do. Somebody at some point in the future is going to make a Silksong like survival crafting mod where you have to like hunt monsters and shit and
Mm-hmm.
craft items and eat food.
oh god,
It's
that
gonna
would
happen. It's
yeah,
gonna happen.
I
That
would
does
not
sound
doubt it.
crazy.
It's like this is what finally actually got me to start playing Hollow Knight. Like, I didn't have interest in it before because I'd played a bunch of the like 2D versions of quote unquote Dark Souls kind of stuff that had released, and I just kind of thought they were mostly mediocre, as Immortan Joe would say. Uh, but like, I think it was everyone talking about how good Silksong is, and it's what and watching a few streams of people going back to play Hollow Knight finally made me play Hollow Knight. And yeah, it's they just made a good game that feels good to play.
And it's insane that Silksong is like
Better.
elevates that. Is
Right.
did I fix
Yeah,
my
you
thing?
fixed it.
Yes,
You
it
fixed
looks good
it.
now.
Okay. Because it's like when I played Hollow Knight, it's like this is a solid A plus S tier like production game. Like this is really good, especially for like a team as small as Team Cherry was at the time. And then it's like that's the most absurd part about Silksong is they improved on something that was already so good. Um, there's I do want to keep it like spoiler free because
Sure.
it it hasn't even it hasn't even been out for a year. Um, and I do still stand by like you do not need to play Hollow Knight 1 to enjoy Hollow Knight Silksong because that's the stuff that like matters there is like it's a little extra seasoning for you if you do play the first one, and it really only comes to play when you get to like the part where you're doing the endings for Silksong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play Silksong first, you're gonna go back and play Hollow Knight and go like, oh, this is a little less. It's still a good game, but it's like you're gonna miss things that are in Silksong because Hornet's whole moveset is really, really fun to tinker around with because all
Yeah.
of her different weapons change how you do like the pogo movements for jumping and platforming and stuff. Um, The two criticisms I have of Silksong are, one, there's a set of mini games that you unlock late in the game that I did not really enjoy because there's 3 of them and you have to get like the highest score to get the reward from them. That's like an upgrade material. And the 2 that I was good at had the lowest requirement for getting points, but the one I was the dog shit at had the most amount of points. Like it had like almost like 50% more points.
Right.
But you don't have to do that unless you're going achievement hunting for like 100% completion. But that one mini game is like extremely brutal.
Oof.
And then the second criticism is that one of the weapon types has a really cool concept and a really cool theme, and it's even tied with one of the major characters in the late game. But it's a dog shit weapon to use because it makes the platforming suck.
Right. That's interesting. Like, I definitely get the like point of comparison when it comes to From stuff, because it's like I know a lot of people who jumped in, like, you know, they've jumped in at Bloodborne or they've jumped in at Elden Ring and they tried to go back, and it's like, you know, they generally tend to have fun, but it's like though, like Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 comparatively are like they're so simple. They're so simple.
We'll probably get into this when we talk about the Elden Ring game that came out last year, which is an insane sentence to say. But I recently replayed Elden Ring like 4 full complete playthroughs, like going from creating a character, going through the game, and just kind of improving and getting more practice. And not for Nightreign reasons, just because like I wanted to play Elden Ring. And then after I was done with those playthroughs, I actually booted up and played through Dark Souls Remastered because I never played the remastered edition, and I was like, this game is freaking easy. As long as you don't lock on to enemy, do not press the lock on button when you play that game, and you can beat everything. The only boss who killed me 3 times was Artorias because he's just that good.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was actually Silksong that partially like got me in the mood to go back and play Elden Ring a bunch, because like the combat, especially when you're fighting bosses like Lace here, it feels so satisfying because the attack button is the parry button.
Right.
And I don't know why more games don't do that.
I think there's this sort of like that was that like Cuphead made it like a jump, or like you had to do a certain sort of attack to do like a quote unquote parry, but it's like but even so, it's like a lot of games tend to take that as like this is a completely different verb from attacking, or is more conducive to defending. So
yeah.
So it's often like let's put it on a different button because that's what we think would feel cooler. And you know, it works in certain games. Like that's definitely fun in a lot of different games. But no, this this style of adding a defensive element into your aggression is really neat.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Lace is a hard counter to me as a player, because I always just kill her by throwing Caltrops ninja spikes everywhere and just watching her kill herself.
So you're a Neo player.
Something like that. I beat Elden Ring with only using items. What do you want from me?
Anything else you wanted to touch upon before we move on?
Just since she's not here, obligatory. This was like the Rosary game of the year of Rosary games, because it's about the red themed heroine woman who has to deal with like evil spider Catholicism.
Extremely true. Extremely true.
Oh yeah.
But that's Silksong.
This is Silksong. So I have a problem.
Yeah.
The problem is a game called Blueprints.
Oh no.
So let me get the Blueprints temperature check here from the chat. Who has played it?
Did you know that for the longest time I didn't understand what people were talking about, and that the game Blueprints is about blueprints?
Oh, Blueprints! Oh my god, Blueprint!
See, I had this revelation, but I had it like 10 minutes into my first session with it, and I was like, wait a minute.
No, I see. I was just hearing people talk about Blueprints, and I'm like, oh, what's this game? And I'm like, and then I went and I looked at a trailer, and I went, oh,
Oh,
I get
Blueprint!
it. I have brain.
Yeah, it's a game for if you have a brain. Crystal, have you played it, or what's your experience with it?
I've not played any Blueprints, but I have listened to a lot of friends' podcast about it, and every time it's completely incomprehensible to me what they're even talking about.
Okay,
That sums up the Blueprints experience.
Kind of, yeah, because even if I explain the game to you, and the game itself is fairly straightforward in terms of like roguelikes. Even I explain the game to you, there is still the meta element of it, and then like the other meta layer on top of it, and then like the other meta layer on top of it, and there's an aspect to Blueprints where when you're trying to solve all of the like higher level secrets in the game, it literally does make you feel like an old an old scraggly beard wise man like scrawling over all his scrolls trying to find anything in this library of information, any clue, anything whatsoever. You feel like the person assigning the red strings to the different dots on the bulletin board. It is a game that up front tells you you should take notes. You should have a notebook and you should take notes as like one of the first messages in the game. And and boy howdy, should you take notes. But just sort of there like you could ignore all of that. You could ignore all of the just like the normal. You could ignore all of the like high level puzzle stuff. You could just play the game as the game is normally played. I'm trying to find a video of it real quick. Here we go. You could just ignore all of that. Just play the game as it's normally played. And still have a good time. But the nature of the game does sort of encourage you to get in there and just like start figuring things out. So I'll go over the basics of it first. Ostensibly, the premise is that you are. Charmy says Blueprints brings out the intersection between big brain geniuses and Mary Kay MLM. Okay. Right over here, real quick. The first note of the game explaining everything to you. You have inherited a house. The person you have inherited from is an insane architect whose house is specially built so that every single room, as soon as you open a door, becomes a new room, and you get to choose which room it is. And the goal of the game, there are 45 rooms that you can open. The goal of the game is to find and enter room 46. And they give you a direction to go in. They very clearly point out where it most likely is, and then it's up to you to figure everything else out from there. And it is absurd. So there's this daily run element to it of like, I start one day, I go and I start to build out my my house. As you can see here, we're starting with this person trying to draft their first room. Do they draft a bedroom? Do they draft a closet? Do they draft a hallway? Hallway seems like hallways always a good pick. Always a good pick. Get you a couple other doors to go to. The entire purpose of it is to get from one end to another while trying to get as much information as possible. So there's a whole bunch of like really interesting caveats to that. Is like, if there's a room you've never seen before, you're incentivized to enter it because there's likely a note or an item or something, or it could be literally anything whatsoever that has some new information that you didn't have before. And information is so fucking important. Information is the most important thing you're ever gonna have. More than keys, more than gems, even though those are also really important, more than items. You don't know who that is, do you? That might be important. You don't know.
That's Jeff.
But there's like a mist. There's like a very like big mist level element to it as well, where it's like, where it's like, you see something, you're not sure what it means. It might mean something in the future. It might not. More often than not, if you see something that seems out of the ordinary, terrible play right there. Awful play. This guy fucking sucks at drafting rooms. But like, more often than not, if you see something out of the ordinary, that is an important clue that you need to pay attention to. That's right, you've got to work out at the library. And there is a library, and it is one of the most important rooms in the game because you can take a book out. But like any other library, you can only take out one book well, you can obviously take other stuff out of the library in a normal library. But the rules of the library are you take one book out at a time, you choose the book you want to take out during that run, and then it shows up in the next run. So you're incentivized to do this like long-term planning of, okay, I'm going to get this book later. That's going to have information that I'm going to need so that I can what's the word?
Solve the puzzle.
Yeah, it's to solve the puzzle, obviously. And there's large overarching puzzles other than just the painting, building out the house, putting together the blueprints. This game makes me feel insane. Because there are still really high level meta puzzles that I haven't solved in this game. And I took my time off of it to like go play other stuff, and I got a new PC. So all of my screenshots and my notes that I've taken are still on my old PC. Which is really important because I need those. Storehouse, what are you doing? What is your problem? You're gonna have nowhere to go. You don't know how to play. I'm getting so mad at this person. They don't know how to play blueprints. They don't know how to play blueprints. They don't know how to draft. You have to build out first. There's a strategy to it. There's a distinct strategy to how to play this game, and part of it and learning is very important. You have to fail in order to get better.
That's what this guy is doing.
That's right. He's looking around. He's looking. He sees some paintings. He sees a horsey. He sees a pawn. He doesn't know what any of those are.
I imagine watching playthroughs of this game as somebody who has like at least gotten an ending to it is like being flashbanged with all the stuff that you know. It's like watching people play The Witness, where it's like you see the things but they don't see the things.
Kind of, yeah.
But it's way worse.
I've watched so many friends play this, and I've just sat in silence and just like let them figure everything out on their own. But it's like I'll be there in case they need a.
Sat in silence? You mean muted your mic and gone? You idiot! What are you doing?
I would never say that. I would never say that about my friends. I would never say that about my friends.
When I was because both my roommates got really really into it, like taking notes, and one of them even got like a notebook to take notes with.
Okay.
And
me and my roommate were both playing it at the same time. I looked at his note because like a good portion of it is like, hey, if you have someone to play it with, this goes back to friend like games. If you have someone to play it with, this game is so good for that because you can discover things that like other people haven't even touched, and they'll discover things that you never even touched, and it's like you get this great feeling of like comparing notes with each other, trying to figure these like big things out together. It's like it's so interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
it's
cut you
okay.
off
It's okay.
there. It's just it's like
So
fuck.
so they both played it, and then I started playing it a little bit later. And then when I was, because I would like, deliberately try to avoid hearing what they were talking about when they were talking about the game because I didn't want to get spoiled on stuff. But they, when I was telling them, because this game has like some level of progression, like the house resets every day, but there are upgrades you can get that are
Right.
permanent upgrades that give you bonuses. And when I described to them, I think I have two or three of them at this point. I don't have all of them yet because I haven't even reached room 46. But when I told them the order I got the upgrades, they gave me the weirdest looks I've ever seen because I got the grotto first.
Right. That
Um,
is a weird one to get. That is a very weird one to get. That's like the last one I got.
that's what they said. They said that that's usually the last one people get, and that's the one that I got first.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, I'm also doing the sicko strat of trying to be the first person to beat blueprints without taking notes.
I mean,
That's not true.
you
That's
can
not true.
beat it. You can beat it without taking notes.
I have
If you want to like beating the game is not important.
that's the other thing. Like it's one of those beating the game is congratulations, you've completed the tutorial for the game.
Basically.
Is
Yeah.
how my roommate put it. I have like a spreadsheet with a bunch of stuff on it, but it's basically just like stuff that I don't really want to like remember, like like a passcode or something like that.
Hmm.
So,
That
but
counts as taking notes. I'm sorry.
yeah, it does. But like here's but the idea that there's gonna be a YouTuber who's like, I'm the first person to beat blueprints without taking a single note. It's just really funny to me.
Blueprints, no notes. Don't build the
Um,
lavatory. Do not build the lavatory. You are a fool. Don't do it. He's
the
hovering over
thing
it.
the
Okay.
thing that I love about this game is the aesthetic.
Yes.
It is like they literally decided that they were going to make a board game and they were like, shit, we can't make a board game. Well, let's make a video game instead.
I would
you,
love
it,
to play a board game version of
Oh
this,
yeah.
honestly.
like
That would be
it just
really
like
fun.
there's no way this is true. But this, like when I was playing it, I was like, this feels like they drafted this to originally be a board game and they converted it into a video game because like the ideas they wanted to do just don't work really well in a board game
Mm-hmm.
format. You could easily still do like because there's plenty of board games out there that are all about like building up a thing and having some randomness there. But just this straight up looks like the aesthetics, like the art style they
It
chose
really
for this
does.
game. It accentuates everything. It reminds me of when I played Botany Manor last year, which is another great game. Or no, not last year. I think it was 2 years ago because it got released on different platforms last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got that style to it. A little bit of it also reminds me of the archaic ancient GameCube game Cell Damage. I don't know why. It's
Oh
like the wood
shit.
texture. The wood textures remind me of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I love like the font choices they used for everything. The UI is just like it's perfect at capturing everything. It tells you all the information you need to know. Like just look at the font down there with the West Wing Hall and how that's just like, oh, that's perfect art
I
style for
know.
this.
It does have such a unique style to it where it's like part like I don't want to say like I, it's like I almost said like it almost like looks cheap, but it's like but not really because it's all of it is like incredibly well considered.
Exactly.
Um but it's like but there is an aspect to it where it's like it does feel like you're playing a very Unity style game, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm. Like the wood
Um
flooring in this room in particular is what made me think of
yes.
like Cell Damage because it looks rough, but it's like well, of course it does. It's like wood paneling in an old mansion, an old nightmare mansion.
Exactly. It's like it's that style of like cell shading you haven't really seen since like PS2 games. Like it looks like 13.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I gotta
Oh
lock it
yeah,
and
this
look at
came
it
out
in
with
print.
the
Hold on.
Steam Note, like the Steam Note feature came
I
out
got the
last year
Steam
too.
Note feature came out at the same time. Oh, and we got the NVIDIA overlay too. Okay. Just in case you need to take the screenshot that tells you how to look at notes.
Actually,
The
I'm
one
gonna
that,
go see if I can.
literally tells you should have a journal.
Let me look if I can find my notes.
I have to. I have a small note doc, but most of my notes were just screenshots, and I like
Yeah.
went back and looked through all of them. And now my screen now. So here's what happened. My screenshots are now all on my old computer. I still have my old computer. I could still hook it up and move everything over, which I'm gonna do at some point. Um, but the I did boot up Blueprints recently, and I don't know if this is something that was added in an update or if it's just like a late game thing. But my last experiences playing Blueprints in the very late game were I would start a run, I would look around trying to find literally any kind of clue I could anywhere in any room I hadn't been in. Try different drafting techniques to draft something new. Um just try literally just trying anything. Cuz I was at a puzzle where I needed to collect a whole bunch of incredibly specific information that that was difficult to find. Um so in my latest run that I played like a few weeks ago, I got it I booted it up. I just started drafting around. I got to a library and there was a book in the library. I don't remember taking it out, but it was there. And it was a book written in the style of the like blueprints like poem children's book that's in this game.
Mhm.
Um, and it was called If I Only Had a Clue.
Oh my
And
god.
it was just a rhyming thing going over like, oh, if only I could draft like a new room I hadn't been before, or read something I hadn't before. And it felt like it was making fun of me. like like if I only just had one clue, I could put this whole thing together, but it wasn't happening. And it's like, and then I'm just like, wait, hold on. There might be something in the. Is there a? If I only had a clue book, I need a magnifying glass right now so I can zoom in. And I just ran around trying to find a magnifying glass anywhere in the house, and I couldn't find one. And then, and now I have to somehow get that book again. But man, it really was brutal. There's it's such a cool game. What a good ass game. Um,
What a unique game. I think that's the
yes,
biggest thing about it is like I looked at that and I went, how the hell did somebody like come up with this idea to put out? And like how
right.
the hell did it do as well as it did? That's the thing that shocks me too. Is like this
There's
is not the kind of thing I would expect to do well, and it's one of the biggest games of the year, and that makes me so fucking happy.
right.
It
Like
makes me so joyous.
there's no lack of obtuse puzzle games that want you to solve absurd puzzles. Like there's a lot for as much people praise The Witness. Like the Witness is not unique in what it does. Um what's unique about Blueprints is not only taking that but managing to wrap a really interesting roguelike around it as well.
Yeah.
And it's this thing where it's like, okay, even if I don't want to solve puzzles today, which is, crazy. Hold on. They're writing the note down. They're writing the note. Blue memo equals true. Red. Okay, bad memo. That's not what it said. It said red memo, but they didn't have the magnifying glass, so they didn't see the part of it that says unless they're handwritten. Doesn't know. He doesn't know. But at least he's writing notes. That's what's important. Um but yeah, there was an element of it too where it's just like I just want to go in and draft a house. I just want to go in and just start drafting a house and see what happens. Like not even necessarily being particularly picky about what I make or just like or needing to find an absurd like meta level puzzle solution. Just like I just want to play it. It's just fun to play. I think that's something a lot of these games, a lot of these like these style of puzzle games like miss out on. It's just like a fun gameplay loop. And
Definitely.
and we're also coming close to I don't want to talk about him too much, but we're also coming close to Jonathan Blow's new game, which he just which we found out which we sort of collectively found out was, oh, it's 4 different games licensed that he just put together. And now, oh, a bunch of those people who the original creators of those games are just going like, oh, if I'd have known this guy was such an asshole, I wouldn't have done that. It's- and it's nice that we're finally getting these like we're getting more stuff like this, so we don't have to rely on someone so fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found my blueprints notes. It's a text document with all caps blueprints. I open it up. It is bits of a piece of one puzzle that I already solved.
um, let's move on. Crystal, you have written here the new age of handhelds. I want what do you mean by this? Speak on this.
What is the last handheld device that was released?
Was it the play thing with the spinny crank?
That's true. It
Well,
was the Playdate, although that's not quite what I'm talking about. That thing is
no,
really cool, though. That's the spirit of handhelds.
no, I believe you're talking about the Xbox ROG Ally.
I guess that technically qualifies as part of this, though I
The
don't like
PlayStation Vita
products.
Passport or whatever the new thing is called.
PlayStation
About
Portal.
that.
You know
Yeah,
that's
that's the thing.
no that one sucks. I mean, you might say the Nintendo Switch too. That's a handheld, but the Android handheld market has really been booming, and this year it seems like there was an explosion of handhelds that try to mimic classic handhelds such as the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Advance SP or the Game Boy Micro or the PSP or the PS Vita. And these are usually sold as being for playing retro games, which is the main thing I use mine for. The one I bought like 5 years ago, that's tiny and 4x3 and can't play anything more than the PS1. But these handhelds are getting so advanced now that it's kind of got me thinking about the potential of Android gaming because
Interesting.
they do make a lot of games for Android that to me don't really make sense to play on the phone, such as that Assassin's Creed Jade game or Fortnite or Genshin Impact. But when I
Mhm.
look at one of these things, it makes sense to me. It's sort of positions Android as this like hardware agnostic successor to the PS Vita, where you can play your AAA games on this very nice looking and feeling device on the go.
I love the little section there where they pull up game facts. Like that's an ancient gamer strat right there.
Yeah, this is really interesting because like I want to say it was like a few years ago listening to the Anime Sickos podcast that they very they started very strongly advocating for buying an Anbernic, which is the sort of like Game Boy Android emulator, specifically because it there's a model of it that has a wood grain finish, and it's like there's that like it doesn't necessarily matter if the Anbernic is a good like porting machine or whatever, just the just the like having the aesthetic there is still like is something that feels unique and special to it, and it's it's an added level of like your own interactivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a really big focus on hardware design because that's kind of the main thing that distinguishes these, because a lot of them are literally running on the same system on a chip, the same screen. So they have to sell you on the the thing you hold in your hands looking and feeling good. And I think that's something that we haven't had for a while.
Yeah.
And there's an hand predict right now. This is one of the new ones. Doesn't necessarily have the wood grain finish, but they did sort of explode in popularity. So they came up with a whole bunch of new models. So it just kind of looks like a cell. I mean, it looks like a DS, but it like,
This is specifically
it's
doing the PSP Go thing.
yes, yes.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
It's interesting because we're in a stage in gaming where a lot in order to keep like a lot of stuff preserved, like you have to look towards the piracy market, because a lot of the major companies are not going out of their way to like preserve the games that people remember very fondly. And it's this like it's a strange precarious situation where we as players want want to be able to play the games we want to play,
Yeah.
but a lot of places just like simply won't offer that to us because it's not financially viable for them.
Yeah.
I turned off the video as soon as I saw someone's face on the screen. Hold on,
Yeah.
they're showing another one here.
But no, I like, this has been a nice thing to see, because like I still use my Vita. Look, the
Mm.
Vita was a good fucking system. It feels good in your hands.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good games for it. Uh I I love the idea of a handheld, and way too many handhelds now. Like, my biggest issue with, I love my Steam Deck. My Steam Deck is too big.
Yep.
Yeah, I like my Steam Deck as well, and the Steam Deck too. Just also has that like, it does have that same sort of like it does have those same sort of emulation capabilities, which makes it like almost like there's a lot of people who buy it specifically to play their PC games in a mobile format, but it's like it became also the de facto emulation machine for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm a big guy. I have huge hands, so it fits me a lot more. Like, this is my phone. It's huge. That's Kim Wexler. Hold on, I don't know what message that is. That's Kim Wexler, but it's like I have it's not her character from Pluribus.
Like,
I'm
it's
sorry.
it's okay. You're allowed to use the system for Yowie hands. I'll sit here with finding a system for Yuri hands. I'll find it eventually.
But this thing's huge. Here's a Whataburger spicy ketchup to scale.
How is there spicy ketchup, by the way?
It's good.
Great.
It's
Awesome.
fucking good.
It's great.
Oh, it is legitimately, every time my girlfriend goes home to El Paso, she comes back with a bunch of it. It's so good.
But it's like I do like I've been in a bit of a like mobile game rut, so I haven't really had anything to play on this for a while. But it is nice. It is a nice little piece of hardware. I would love to play stuff on it.
The thing that always disincentivized me to get into like mobile gaming is when they do that thing that they all have to do, where all phones are basically 99% screen,
Yes.
no room for buttons. So we have to like have a button overlay to control your character and press buttons. And
Yeah.
these devices obviously like they not only cater to the tactile feeling of like I have like a little console in my pocket, but it's also like saving that screen space for not being just an overlay for your buttons.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Like, you need the buttons so it can be an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
God,
but there are some limitations to these because they're mostly made from like the leftover parts of discontinued phone models and stuff.
Right.
They're making fake DSs now,
Mhm.
but they have capacitive touchscreens, unlike the resistive one of the DS, and it's just not the same. You just can't do the same thing with a capacitive screen as you can do with the resistance. So I guess ultimately Nintendo still won in the end by making the best hardware to play DS games on.
Unfortunately, they did make the 2DS XL, so
Oh, this thing looks tiny in this person's hands.
I know. I deeply respect playing Tekken on it.
God. Oh,
I
baby Tekken.
I respect everyone who wants to just have a nice little handheld. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I got the Switch 2 here. This thing's like really big. Honestly, it's a little smaller than
Steam Deck.
the Steam Deck, but it's still a big piece of hardware. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's the thing. That's the thing that I have with the Steam Deck is like you mentioned like some people got it so that they could like have PC gaming in a mobile format, but it's like
Mhm.
that's a backpack console. I can't put that
I
in my
know, I
pocket.
know. Like my main use for a little while was using the Steam Deck as a mobile PC whenever I was traveling. And then I just got a laptop instead. So I've just been bringing that for the most part.
Oh
So
man, there's
I'm hardly playing it I'm hardly ever playing it in a handheld format.
just thinking
Yeah.
right now that there's gamers out there where they have like the big purses and there's just like there could be a Steam Deck in there these days.
Well, I handheld with my Steam Deck all the time. Like part of my when it's being in the Pacific Northwest, it's fucking raining all the time. So sometimes I just grab my Steam Deck and walk around my kitchen island for like 4 hours, get my
Right.
10,000 steps while playing
Right.
Warriors Abyss or something else. Like I played way too much Unbeatable walking around my just walking around my kitchen because it's very like I don't know, handheld systems, like even if they are excessively large, are nice to have.
Mhm.
And
There is a strong desire uh there's a strong desire that I understand just by watching this video of just playing the SP again, you know?
Yeah.
because you can fit it in your pocket, which you haven't been able to do with the handheld for a long time.
True.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
the lower ends of these, like I think this thing is like maybe like $50. It's something you can buy for a kid and not be too worried if they break it, unlike a Switch
Yeah.
2. There's a lot of utility to old style handheld, which has been lost in the modern, like this is a handheld PC handheld.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I noticed and she hasn't quite spoken up yet. I noticed Elvie joined the call. I do want to
I
know I do want to know if she has any thoughts on this. But I don't want to put her too on the spot if she's still getting her stuff set up.
I
She
figured
is
she would have
she is
chimed
currently
in.
muted. Yeah.
I figured she would have chimed in when she was ready.
Yeah.
Still trying to join. Okay. We'll leave her out for now.
No, it's genuinely like seeing all these different handhelds come across the screen is like filling me with delight. At
Yeah.
I don't know how big this person's hands are, so I can't really compare them entirely to my own, other than the white skin part. But
I'm gonna assume that I have bigger hands than this person. So a lot of these would not fit me super well. But it's like, there's still a desire to have a
It's
Game Boy Color, you know?
yeah,
it's a weird evolution or resurgence of like the 2000s era, late 90s era. We're a third party company. We're going to make a bunch of peripherals for like the Game Boy. But now
Yes.
it's like it's third party peripherals to make your phone look like a Game Boy
Yeah.
or a GameCube.
ooh,
This one looks pretty neat.
That actually kind of rules. Like,
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance colors are really.
Do not
It's like, ugh,
do
sending
not
me
let
back.
do not let John know this, but I would absolutely become a physical copy gamer if games came in like wood casings and not plastic, like little Class V
Oh my god,
annoying.
I would. Oh shit! Don't say wood casings because now. Oh no!
sometimes I just think about my wood casing all the time. And it's it's very important.
I'm gonna be looking into this. I'm gonna be looking into this.
But
I
but even then, just like a little handheld that could even just play PlayStation 2 quality stuff.
That's
which
the thing. Like when I was talking about like when the sickos were talking about the original Anbritics they were playing, it's like they weren't just playing like they were like playing the little Game Boy, like the literally the Game Boy shaped one, but it's like they're playing PS1 games, they're playing PS2 games, they're playing like it's a huge variety of games that like you associate this form factor. Like this is obviously trying to look like a Vita. You know what I mean? Much smaller. It's only got
That's
the
not
four
trying
by
to
three
look like a
screen
Vita. That's trying to look like a classic Game Boy Advance, but with two
with a Vita
thumbsticks.
screen. With an Android screen or something, I guess. I don't know. I guess I just saw the screen. It was like I didn't even register to me that it was an Android screen. That's like, oh, that's just the pop up. That's just how the windows are on the Vita.
They do
yeah.
It
make
looks like
Vita likes though. If you want something that looks like a Vita,
oh, for sure. Or you
yeah,
can
God,
just
that's
or you can
been a
just homebrew a
distinguishing
Vita.
thing this year because I've been following this scene for a few years, and these even just a couple years ago would like look and feel really cheap and flimsy, but
Yes.
now they're making them look like premium products.
And like, we briefly mentioned it, but like it looks like Xbox, if they're going to continue being a like a hardware manufacturer at all, if they're gonna even try to put out any more hardware, it's like we're licensing it out to handheld third parties first and
yeah.
foremost, because this is the style of Xbox that we feel like would work in the future. Because
Finally, the Soldier Boy console has a manufacturing partner.
but it's like the Switch is unbelievably popular. Like the Steam Deck also probably was. I don't know if that was like big competition for Microsoft, because obviously their biggest competition was the PS5. It's like that is the direct comparison. Um, but it's this strange trend of, I don't want to say because larger game companies are getting into this market that the smaller ones are trying to sort of keep up in a sense, because that would be historic, because these things have existed for decades.
Yeah.
Like this market is nothing new. It's just the fact that um it's becoming a lot more common, and like you said, Crystal, the quality of them is getting a lot more um the quality
Modernized.
is like, yeah, it's getting a lot more modernized. It's improving quite drastically. Crystal, have you invested at all? Have you bought any that you would recommend, or
Now I've only bought two, and this was years ago. I bought my first one was like a really really cheap $30 shitty SP clone, and then I bought a nicer Retroid Pocket 2 for $100. The
interesting?
Yeah, I've thought about maybe investing in one of these newer nice ones, but it's dangerous. It's a dangerous path to go down.
It is. Like I can easily imagine becoming like this guy and just getting a ton of them and just like needing to review them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird that like we're in the age where you can reasonably play games that came out 2 years ago on
Mm-hmm.
handheld consoles. Like last year I replayed Metal Gear Solid 5 entirely on the Steam Deck, and that is a really good Steam Deck
That's
game.
that's crazy, but also I respect that very deeply.
And just the idea that these little things could also just like run like not just PS2 games, they could probably run PS3 games if they can't already.
Yeah.
So we've gone from a new age of handhelds. Lorelai, you've written here the return of the classics, and also it looks like we have Elvie here. Hello, Elvie.
Yeah. So I shifted ours around mine around a little, so it could be lined up with yours because it's part of the same topic.
Interesting.
This year is kind of the year of like classic game remasters and remakes that are like really interestingly well done. I mean, we're not going to go without me talking about the fucking Suikoden remasters coming out. Like, I literally named myself after a Suikoden character when I transitioned. Like, it's one of the most important things to me. But there were there were 3 remasters this year that came out that had different ways of how they did their things. You had the Suikoden remasters, which are just very faithful remasters. The only thing they added was a sprint button, so you don't need to get sprint shoes 2-3 hours into the game. You can just sprint right from the beginning, which makes things a little faster without like breaking the balance of them. But like the Suikoden remasters were fascinating because like there are all sorts of things you could do, quality of life improvements other than just sprint shoes. Instead, like you could have put the inventory management from 2 into 1 or something like that. Inventory management in Suikoden 1 always sucked. It was the first RPG for the PlayStation. It came out It came out before Final Fantasy VII and all of that. It is an old game that it does feel like they were getting their feet wet. Didn't quite 100% know what they were doing. And yet they came out with this beautiful, beautiful game with a beautiful art style, fantastic sprite work. And so they come to do the remasters of Suikoden 1 and 2. And instead of reworking all of the art, they keep they make the correct decision of, hey, we're going to keep the character sprites intact, what they originally were. We are not going to HD 2Dify this. We'll upscale the backgrounds, which in some areas lost some power, like lost some effect. Like there's a scene partway into 1 where a character comes in from off screen, and because the backgrounds are outside of the room you're in are black, you can't see outside the building. It's a surprise when a guy comes up. The new version, they're just like, we're going to animate everything. We're going to show everything. So you just see this guy come from off. And it's like, no, that was a bad move. And then enough people complained that they patched it. They just went, oh, yeah, okay, that was our bad. Let's patch it to make it exactly. They did address like issues that people had. They went, hey, this bit of the localization was not well done. Let's change that part. You still lose the magic of the greatest line of dialogue in history, all this killing in front of a children, but
Right.
it's still like it is really nice to have, especially Suikoden 2. Suikoden 2 was the real winner because that game's localization originally was absolute dog shit, which says the quality of the game based on the fact that it is still, like, to this date, one of the most highly regarded JRPG stories, even though its translation was absolute dog shit. There are literally people you talk to, and it just shows lines of code in the original release. Like, it was bad. And then, so they cleaned that up. Actually being able to make your way through the game by talking to people now is so interesting. But they did a really fantastic job with it. And then you also had, in the same time, you had the Dragon Quest remasters come out. And those got the full HD 2D treatment. And it works. It works very well because they aren't they didn't like super muddy upscale the backgrounds. Like part of the reason like a lot of the HD 2D stuff doesn't appeal to me is you just get a lot of muddy details because they're trying to make like the background so. In this, they just they made them prettier, but it isn't so detailed that it distracts from the characters and the a slime still looks like a slime. But you also just had these are significant reworks of the original games. So like Dragon Quest 1, you have tons of abilities you never had access to in the original, which makes it a lot more playable. You don't have to take the queen back to the princess back to her dad, so you can just take the princess with you through the entire rest of the game if you want, and she's just there in the background and chiming in as a character being there instead of being a telepathic message. And there's lots of cool stuff like that. Dragon Quest 2 getting an entire second campaign after the game is like okay, I'm here for this, and it's really good. And like it's such a beautiful way of giving people the experience of the original game in a new way that is a significant improvement over going back to the original.
Right.
And I think like Dragon Quest 3 got a pretty the start of it was pretty fantastically made. But 1 and 2 are really where these remasters truly shine, especially 2. I am still just absolutely shocked by how well it was done, by characters having personality. Because Dragon Quest 3 was the first of the Dragon Quest games that had actual writing in it.
Right.
And
This is
like
this. I'll say like this looks a lot nicer from like a 2.5D aspect than like a lot of the other games that use like that look similar.
they always look kind of muddy. And this game just looks beautiful and bright colors everywhere and very very, very well done with, great voice work, great, they put love and effort into these games that they could have done really well, even not doing all the work that they did. And it's just so nice.
What I appreciate here is like the like 3D aspects of the environment. They didn't really feel the need to like crunch it down or make it like or like try to make it match the sort of like pixelated aesthetic of the characters. And the characters themselves are still sprite work, but they're using like the lighting of it to make it natural in the scene. So you get this interesting like fairly realistic 3D while still set with like characters that are 2D sprites, and it's like it just looks it still looks cohesive.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous, like, and it came out so well. Both this and the Suikoden remasters. Like, I actually appreciate the Suikoden remasters for not upscaling the sprites. Because there are 2 games in this world that I go, you don't fucking touch the sprite work of those games. You don't fucking touch them. And that's Suikoden 2 and fucking Chrono Trigger.
Right.
I'm sorry if everyone keeps going, I want an HD 2D of Chrono Trigger, and my response to that is, fuck that.
That sounds
touch
insane.
those original sprites, I will fucking stab you with a knife. Keep your hands off my Akira Toriyama, motherfucker.
It's interesting looking at this and like thinking about the Final Fantasy like pixel remasters, where it's like we just made the environments bigger.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a sort of aspect to it there's a sort of aspect to that here as well with the battles, because it's like the enemies are still relatively small and they're in the middle of the screen, and there's just like a whole bunch of empty space in between them. And that's sort of what the pixel remasters felt like as well.
Yeah.
Does that scale ever like feel like it gets more natural over the course of the game, or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it definitely does.
like with bigger enemies and stuff?
Yeah, you get the bigger enemies, but you don't get the stupid like my it's something I both love and hate about Octopath. I love
Okay.
Octopath. You're just like fighting a dude, and on the map, he's a pixel.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you go into a fight, he's like a overly rendered 20-foot tall fucking monster, like in knight in armor, and it's like, I, no, I see him on the map. That's just Craig. Fucking let me fight fucking Craig, please. And it's such a weird like dichotomy of like, I get it when you're fighting, you run into a monster on the map, you want the monster to look a lot bigger in battle,
Right.
but when you're talking to Jeff and your character is a foot taller than Jeff, clearly through the pixel sprites, and suddenly Jeff is a 10-foot tall fucking knight, it's like, yeah, I don't know, that's weird, come on, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I think sometimes I like that sort of ridiculousness. You know what I mean?
It's mostly
Yeah.
just harkening back to like because they did that a lot in Final Fantasy, where the
Oh,
sprites are always like
100%, yeah.
the box. They're the size of a tile, but then you get into a fight with them, and you have your classic old school Final Fantasy sprite characters. Meanwhile, the enemies are like 4 times your size on a sprite.
Oh, yeah.
So
The enemies are also like the closest you got to anything even resembling a mono artwork, like
Yeah.
in the game too.
Exactly.
yeah,
But
I just want to prompt Elvie here because I haven't heard her yet. Elvie, are you with
Uh,
me?
I am. Look at
Yeah.
that.
So
Hi,
how do
Elvie.
you,
Wow, hello. As you can see, I trekked all the way from the Arctic. I'm still here. Yeah. Hard to talk with 5-degree Fahrenheit weather. Hope everyone's safe out there. I feel like last time I did the Game of the Year stream, this was like the near exact background, and I remembered that. Like I just put myself in these penguins. But yeah, happy to be here. I just actually be part of the I agree. Like this looks great. Like I could say like I think and absolutely agree with Chrono Trigger. No one touch that. I will kill you. 100%. And hopefully, yeah. Okay, cool. The Twitch hears me. Wonderful. I think a big thing that pisses me off with like these sort of remasters, especially with the glorpy weird upscaling, is like UI. I feel like Scott, you've like talked about this before with how the menus like look bad in a lot of the Final Fantasy. Yeah, like just that particularly like is a big issue I've noticed. Like just the lack of careful thought too across like I don't know, like, yeah, you have a script here. Like, there's a lot to when it comes to like not just graphics, but I think UI is part of that, like whole.
Oh yeah,
like yeah, for sure.
it's one of the things I actually ended up like I was really worried about with the Suikoden remasters is like they showed off the UI and I was like, and then it actually ended up being like really nice. You had all the UI customization that you got from the original once you unlocked the character that let you adjust your UI, which I love that in the original version, like it's very like, yeah, the UI is fucking just gorgeous.
This video is a day long. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% walkthrough. You gotta Suikoden 2 is about a 24 well, it depends on like your first time through, you might spend like 30 hours. But the thing I like about it too, and one of the things that they went and they were like, "Hey, we can't upscale these sprites that the original artwork that we have." So they just went and hired the original artist to redraw the portraits.
Right. That's
Like-
really interesting.
Like,
No, go
but
ahead.
it's just it's a nice, good time, and like, if you look at it, they did not touch the sprite work
Mm-hmm.
of the characters, of the monsters, of the enemies. Those are all the original stuff. Instead, that all they did was upscale the backgrounds, which,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, is I appreciate, because I don't want anyone, especially Suikoden 2, because Suikoden 2's like sprites are so expressive. There's a co-op attack you can do between the main character and his sister that has a 50-50 chance of, well, not a 50-50 chance. There's a rare chance of, because of your sister's personality, you'll go in and your main character will go in and attack the monster, and your sister just sits down on a picnic blanket and eats a snack and heals herself. it's just,
Yep, there it goes.
yeah, there's goofy, stuff like that, and like it's just gorgeous work that should not be, that I do not want touched, and they
Yeah.
didn't touch it.
That's sort of the thing when it comes to just like remasters and remakes in general, is like, how do you capture that sort of like unique expressivity, that sort of like
Expressiveness.
expressive, that sort of unique expression of like that was only captured in artwork at a higher scale, in sprite artwork at a higher scale. And it's like there's different routes to it. There's the incredibly big budget Final Fantasy VII remake route, where you just like try to make it as hyper realistic as possible while still retaining the style.
That's also just making a new game.
I know. But like that's something they're able to do because they can afford it. Well, it's like, a lot of games don't have the budget, or don't get nearly the amount of leeway that project has gotten.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're trying to make this sort of game nowadays, it's difficult to capture that same feel without just making a full on like, here's a full on like full sprite work style game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's sort of what happened with like that's sort of how like Sea of Stars looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just
I
like,
think-
what if Sea of Stars was good?
Sure.
Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I will fucking take every opportunity I can to dunk on that game. The fact that if you wanted the true ending, you had to get 100% of everything, and it added like 100 hours to the game, sucked. Hey, if you want the true ending of Suikoden 2, you got to get everything. It adds like 2 hours to the game. Like,
Mhm.
that's how you should do it.
And you also position this topic in such a way, because I wanted to talk about the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, the Evil East Chronicles, and I've talked a lot about it in a bunch of different ways, but I wanted to like really try and dig into why it feels the way it feels. You know what I mean? Because this was a year of remakes in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
It's strange to think of this being a year where Metal Gear Solid 3 was remade. And it was, as far as like remakes go, it's like a totally like, you can shit on the visual style of it all you want. It's hyper, like, it's way more detailed than the original, but it's like, it's a very, very faithful remake otherwise. And they provide you in-game options to try and make it look more like the original in terms of like filters and lighting and stuff like that. But also no one talked about it. Like, I've heard no one talk about this game at all.
I forgot it came out.
I know. I think a lot of people did.
No one talked about it. Yeah.
I didn't even finish it. Like, I just didn't have a lot of interest in playing it again, especially because I Like I literally had played through the the Christmas mod of Metal Gear Solid 3 like that like the year before. So it's like I already had a playthrough fresh in my mind. I didn't really want to jump back in again. Um but it's like it's strange because if that's sort of as close as you can get to like a platonic ideal of what a remake or a remaster would be, then like and it's something like no one really cares about, then like what are we even doing in the first place? Um and that's sort of why I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy Tactics in that regard, because I think it also strikes that same sort of balance where they were really, really focused on trying to make it presentation wise as similar to the original as possible, while still while still retaining like the elements of it that they've upscaled and modernized and stuff like that. And I think it works for the most part, and they also make a whole bunch of really, really clever like new decisions with it that were in either of the versions. And I'm not just gonna repeat what I don't just want to repeat what I've said before. And it's like, if only this is War of the Lions, because I bet everyone's fucking sick of hearing that. But it's like, but there is an aspect of it where it's like, okay, War of the Lions did add a bunch of animated cutscenes, right? And these animated cutscenes are in this version of the game, yet they decided not to include them. Like, they are in the game. You can go and watch them if you want. But instead, they decided to opt for, okay, we're going to go with the original style where it's like, they're just the sprites on the landscape talking. Is this the right window?
Yeah.
Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up and it's not working. But we have, sorry, I just need one moment. It's not working. Will this work?
They don't want you
Nope.
to speak the truth.
They don't want me to talk. Hate my ass. But yeah, like as far as like a visual style goes, they wanted to be incredibly faithful to it, and they make a lot of really interesting and unique decisions with it. And but at the same time, like, because like as far as I'm concerned, this is probably one of the this might be the best version of this game that they've ever made.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the previous version that they put out on PSP, which I don't want to name, like it also solved a whole bunch of problems in terms of like, okay, what do we do for like an extended end game? Like, what do we do? How do we flesh out these characters more? It just like it doesn't include any of that. And it's it's strange because it's like this stuff is still like this stuff is still like in the files of the game. We like people who have been modding it are aware of it. They know what's there, they know what's not there. And it's just this like it's this decision of, we are not going to include this because it doesn't necessarily like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the version of the game they want to put out.
Yeah.
And when you think of, well, what do people actually want out of this? It's like, why would you exclude it in the first place? Or do you know what I mean? Or am I just sort of like talking?
No, I get you. Like that's one of the reasons like I found the PAX panel that they did kind of fascinating. And then also like talking to the director a bit at PAX in the street is he didn't seem to like a lot of the extra shit they added.
But it's like it's not even a thing of where it's like, I don't care for the extra content, because you don't have to give a shit about like whether or not Balthier is in the game. You know what I mean? But it's like there's a reason why they added extra quests to the game, and it's like it adds more texture. It adds much needed character moments between characters that don't have that, like that
Yeah.
don't get that representation. And it's and also it adds like a really interesting end game element to it as well, that they could at least try and emulate, but they haven't really. So
I will say I would not be shocked if we see DLC 6 months from now
it would be
that
either,
unlocks that.
I don't think it would be either, but also I do think like part of them releasing this in the state that they did does seem like this is the definitive version of the game that we want.
Oh yeah.
And there's cool stuff about it that I really like too. Like there's the inclusion of voice acting is really, really good. The fact that they add a whole bunch of extra dialogue that happens during combat is for the most part is really, really good as well, because it's like, okay, characters that like as soon as they join your party stop talking, because there's this thing about Final Fantasy Tactics where they try to go around the old Fire Emblem route of it, where it's like, you know, as soon as a character is in your party, that means they can die permanently. So better not like waste a whole bunch of time writing extra dialogue for them, or else it, like, you know, or it just didn't seem like a good use of their time. It's like, why would we put these characters in the story if they could die?
Yeah.
And then, you know, but these are characters that people like for a variety of reasons. So giving them more characterization through added dialogue and still keeping that dialogue faithful, it works really well, especially because like all of it is voiced and the voice acting is really, really strong. But then like when you think about this from a total practicality perspective of, if this is the unique version of this, if this is the definitive version of this game, why is that acceptable as new content where like other versions of it weren't?
Yeah.
It's a weird case where we had the original game in the 90s, which
Yes.
was the one which is the only version I've played, and it's pretty good. And then they made a remake for it was the PSP, right?
PSP, yeah.
Which added things like new jobs and new like activities, like you were talking about. And I think War of the Lions came out like at the tail end of the aughts. Like
It was 2009, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like over a decade later, they're like, all right, we're gonna be making we're doing a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics, the game you all know and love. It's the big game, and now we have 3 versions of this game, and they had the opportunity to go like, okay, we'll take the best of both previous versions and put them into one thing, and they were like,
Right.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
Really
like
weird.
I think what you're alluding to is like in this game, there are 2 versions of this game. There are 2 playable versions of this game. One that has graphics and and none of the extra dialogue from this version of it.
Yep.
But it's using the script from War of the Lions.
Yeah. That's the weird
part. But it
part.
doesn't have the War of the Lions content in it. So it's like,
they knew which version of the game was the better version, but they didn't want.
Is there?
No, go ahead, Elvie.
No, I was wondering too. Like, do you know? This makes me think. Then, were there just for some reason completely different teams across these different remakes? I can see it. And, yeah,
this game comes out like 16 years after after the last.
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah.
And this game,
of course,
then, you know, the original was like 1999.
But that is to say that I think there's a weird thing too when it comes to licensing, you know, and like asset management. And for some reason the script of one game we can't use in this because there's some, I mean, like, and that's very annoying and weird and frustrating in its own regard. And I think that leads ultimately to, I think, what we're all like talking about in regards to kind of like version and control in a weird way over remakes. I think it does kind of go back to like, hey, there was a Metal Gear remake this year. No one talked about it. I'm aware the game is like 20 years old about this point, like a little more than that. And I think it raises a lot of questions over like, here's this pretty decently sustainable, the older version of it, the original version of it that exists that people can still play. So what is, there's that question of like longevity and like why are we remaking this? I know it's 20 years old, but there's still that previous version that exists and is pretty feasible for most people to access, right? Because so then as a, right, there's like a lot of those questions like, okay, this game is now 10 years old, do we remake it? right? And then it gets out of control, right?
Yeah,
like, so
I do think there's
forgotten that the 3 remake had existed.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
it came out of nowhere. It it had been hyped for a bit, but it came out and landed with such a like. Exactly.
Here's the thing, though: the 3 remake also comes out like not that long after they already put out Metal Gear Solid 3 again. You know what I mean? Like they've already they try to best of both worlds it where they they sell a version of the game that's far more accurate to the original before they sell the complete full remake. And I like, as far as like what you want out of a remake, like what you on paper, what you think you really want out of something like this, that sounds like a really, really good prospect. But then at the same time, like, if someone's already played Metal Gear Solid 3 like last year, like, and I'm not just saying from my perspective, I'm saying from like the buyer's perspective of, well, I just played this game, I don't know why I would play it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's a game that you can imagine people are going to be waiting on sale for more than anything.
Oh yeah. Like the one thing about this whole thing is I'm just happy Konami exists again. Like,
as the arbiter of video games, I hereby decree that if you're going to remake a game, you can only choose the we're porting it to modern consoles path,
right,
or the we're doing the Final Fantasy VII thing and going completely buck wild insane with it.
That is
just making
kind
a new
of
game.
that is kind of the thing I want is if you're gonna call a game a remake, fucking remake it.
Here's the thing, like, I do think
if you're going to do something else, if you're going to do what we're kind of talking about, this is a remaster, and it's a great remaster. It's not a remake.
I think there's a lot of value in that too, and I do think there is like you were saying, like there's really strong value in for not only for preservation's sake, but also like trying to make a version of this game that is not only the most accessible, but is also like the most complete.
Yeah.
And again, I do think this is a really, really strong version of this game. But also, like, I don't understand why they made the decisions they did to omit things that would have made it even stronger.
Yeah. Really weird.
I can kind of see the perspective on that because I do think video games have a problem where they think more content is better.
Right.
And sometimes less is more. Sometimes you should cut stuff, and that actually makes a thing stronger. And I can't really speak to that in detail with Final Fantasy Tactics because I'm not very familiar to it, but that's just a perspective to consider.
Yeah, I agree with that on like a fundamental basis, but it's like when it comes, but like I'm not just upset that they didn't add content to this game that I like. I'm upset because they're actively omitting content that does in fact improve the experience of it. Like it's like I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it. It's like, okay, there are fundamental problems with this game that have been solved in previous iterations of it.
Yeah.
and then in this iteration they've decided to create those problems again. And it just seems strange from a design perspective, because like I think there's I don't think there's anything wrong with them saying, okay, War of the Lions is not the definitive version of this game, and we should make this the definitive version of this game. I think I do think there is a value prospect in that. But also, if you're going out of your way to include new content, then what's the point of omitting stuff that improved it in the first place? I'm trying to wrap my head around this from a purely authorial from a purely like authorial perspective.
I mean, are there people who consider the War of the Lion editions to be not good?
As far as like the larger Final Fantasy Tactics community, like as far as I've seen, whenever I've looked up extended mods, fan reactions, stuff like that, it's like that is generally considered like the definitive version, especially because it's like PSP emulation is very, very easy. You can run it on basically anything.
It didn't just like add new stuff like new jobs and such, and also like if I remember correctly, it fixed a lot of like the initial design aspects of the original game. And like I remember playing the original game on like the PS2, like we had like those like little mini PS2s that they came out with a little bit later. Because like the PS2 was like a huge fucking like brick shithouse machine. You could kill somebody with it. And so they came out with like the Slim, I think it was called.
Yep. Right.
And I remember playing it on there. And like I enjoyed it. I don't usually mind like rougher experienced games, but there's a lot of like I guess just calling them, there's a lot of rough edges in that original version of the game that War of the Lions like streamlined and just made work a little bit better.
I think too. So here's the actual point of contention I've seen between the two versions. War of the Lions rewrites the game. It is the script that it is the script that this version of the game is also based on as well. And it rewrites it because the original translation, much like the original Final Fantasy VII translation, was very, very rushed. And it's very obviously has like a whole bunch of errors in it. But this is also a game about like a big political conflict with a whole bunch of proper nouns and stuff.
Yeah.
So it feels very confusing to play.
That era of translation was like one guy working on a game.
Yeah.
With no help. And a lot of games, like as I said, Suikoden 2 has one of the worst translations of all time. Its original is a disaster. The original Tactics was bad.
Yes, but the argument that I see is there are a lot of people that do in fact prefer that original translation because they like that style of what's the way of putting it? Of disarming you, of the ways you trying to understand the story makes it feel different.
The video game equivalent of people who prefer gas stoves over electric.
But it's like I can understand that perspective, and I think if you're putting out a game like this where you have two distinct versions of this game, which this game does.
Yep.
The fact that they have decided, okay, for the version that's closer to the original PS1 release, we're going to use a different script instead of the original script that is like weird and divisive and like people do find like interesting in its own ways. It's strange. Like you're saying this is closer to the original and yet it's still authored in a different way. I can wrap my head around the concepts, obviously, but it's like when you try and examine them in detail, you're like, I don't like like this would be so much more interesting if you did it like this. Anyways, that was my Final Fantasy Tactics rant.
Our usual Scott Final Fantasy. You can't have Scott on a podcast without a tactics rant, right?
I see Elvie move moving her down. If you want, I can talk about Rematch right now. I did want to take a small break because I got to use.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
But
yeah.
do you want to just jump in?
Yeah, feel free. I think it's just smoother that way.
Hello, welcome back. We're back with more Game of the Year. We got a couple more games to talk about. Not that many, honestly, but like we still want to get it out there. We still want to have a fun time.
Oh, I don't know about not that many.
There's a whole. There's actually an entire website filled with articles about the games from last year that you can read right now if you need more.
Yeah. And
I just meant that not that many on our docket. There's obviously millions of games every year.
Yes.
But I'll go in real quick and talk about Rematch. Which in my Game of the Year write up, I described it as the only sports game. And I stand by this assessment.
Oh, that's like the Rocket League, but on feet, right?
Yeah, it's that.
Oh,
that's
cool.
what it is. So
I can't believe they made car soccer into soccer.
It's strange. Anyways, so here's the thing about it is that it's sick as hell. It's really awesome. It's really tight. There's this element of it where obviously you're working as a team trying to do the insurmountable task of getting a ball into a goal while other people are around you trying to stop you from doing that. It's very free. It's a lot more free form than actual soccer. Because on soccer there are a lot more rules when it comes to like who can be on which sides, who like how you do certain things. While this sort of and like there's very set formations that people usually follow, and you can still the thing about that is you can still use those methods to play this game, and it works. It's really, really beautiful in that regard. But not only is it just like not only is it the fact that it emulates soccer that makes it so fun, it's the fact that it emulates a sport in a way that is like trying to make it as like fast paced and fun as like actually being on the field and doing it yourself. And the matches are intense. You know what I mean? Like, I've played a bunch of really, really intense shooters this whole year. Like I played a lot of PUBG with my friends. We just picked up like High Guard because give it like just trying to give it a shot. See what they say, and the most intense experiences we've had are playing this game, because you're doing all of these like you're doing all of these like micro calculations in your head as you're playing of like, okay, my friend, like this guy has the ball, they're trying to shoot on us, if like goalie can shoot this way, it's all about trying to get on a team together that will be able to coalesce and work together and like make the damn goals happen. You can be a really, really good player and play it on your own, and you could probably do pretty well against like teams that are bad. But if you are not working as a team, you are not going to succeed at all.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It is so fun.
This is just watching this footage right now. This looks like football, like international football, in a form, but like with the veneer of like basketball rules. Like this is
sort of. What if Kickfoot but NBA Jam?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Like, I see what you mean by like it's faster paced. But also like there's fewer players per team, and
Right.
I think the field is also smaller.
The field is very small, and also like the very important thing, it's completely closed off. So like, you know, if a ball like in normal soccer, like it goes off, like if it goes off sides, like it goes into the field, there's like a card is thrown up or whatever, and then like that ends the play, and then you start a new play. In this,
Yeah.
the ball bounces off the wall, and you got to figure out where it's bouncing. And there's a lot of plays you can use specifically trying to bounce it, like right here. This dude literally bounced it off the wall just so his friend could get it. And the other guy threw it at the goalie because the goalie has a lot more protection when it comes to holding the ball than other players, which is a really, really fucking smart play. That's insane. But there's also like stuff you can learn, like ball control, where you're like, okay, I have the ball, I can rainbow flip it up, and then I can like control it while like keeping it up in the air, like doing headbutts and stuff like that. And all of these are like bespoke actions that you need to pull off. And it's like, and the thing about it is it still manages to feel simple, and it still manages to feel simple and approachable while still being like incredibly like fast paced. It never feels like you're getting overwhelmed by the controls.
Oh, who is this gentleman? Okay, so I have a lot of questions.
Yes.
Not a lot, but we're like, what are they? Are you in a simulation? What is
No,
the context?
you're a player on the field. Like from a story perspective. There's not really a story.
Okay. The simulated environments, and then it reveals at the end that there is an audience still watching. What is going on?
So like the 3D like field effect.
Okay.
In terms of like gameplay, what that is the last person who scores a goal, you
Okay.
can set what the 3D field is around you. So
Okay.
it's like, so it's all based on like, you know, this person just scored their goal, they just turned this into an oasis area, or they just turned it back into a normal field. That's like, it's all like, it's the same way like Rocket League has like visual effects.
Yeah. This is so interesting that this came out 2025, right? Or is this older
Yes.
than okay. This is so interesting to see this. And yes, it is like, you know, but you know, you explained it. It is more than just a soccer/football. I've seen so many like openings, or rather like, you know, in person, like virtual sports parks. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't know like but like these immersive experiences, like don't touch the lava, don't drop, you know, like a lot of these like high activity inspired sports virtual reality games that have been kind of coming out and popping up like in amusement parks and cruises, etc., that kind of like convey the same feel where I don't know, I feel like this ties a lot with like how pickleball like was something that blew up like in the last couple of years, because it's not quite tennis, but it's also not like lower. No, actually, no, I'm incorrect. Like there are ping pong clubs. That's pretty, but like these kind of lower stakes sports games that are still fun, but don't quite have the same rule set as how you would professionally play them, basically.
Right. I'm gonna disagree with you and say that this is the most high stakes sports game.
Okay. I mean, I can see it.
This is
it does seem intense. I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's very intense. One of my friends, I love him to death. He was not clicking with it, and like every single time we played it together, he like genuinely got upset because it's just like it's a game with a like it's one of those games that's like fairly easy to learn, very tough to master. So there's like there's definitely like a skill ceiling you got to reach before you can like really compete with a lot of people. And that was something that wasn't clicking with him. And it's like, it's fun. Like, it's fine if the game doesn't click with you. Some people aren't ready to play sports.
Some people are not made for the game. Yeah.
Right. And you can see, so here's an interesting thing is like you can see that they're like this guy's taking a goalie position, but he's not assigned the goalie position. He's only assigned in it in the sense that like when the round started, he was in the goalie position. He can go out and just like be a normal on the field, but that just means there's not a goalie until someone else walks up and gets in that position instead. That's how free form it is. And normally when I'm playing with my friends, we have one of our friends like really likes playing goalie, so he's usually the guy that goes and swaps into that position every chance we get. But like the way it's designed, it encourages like if you're just grouping up with randos, it encourages anyone who's actively like in the goalie position to stay there. Because if you don't have a goalie, that's bad. You need someone to protect the goal.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to score a goal. More importantly, at the end of a game, so you pull your goalie so you can score.
But
You
what
just
if I'm the
hope you don't
goalie?
give the ball away.
Of course.
But what if I'm the goalie and I want to be the main character who saves the game?
Well, you can try shooting it up. See how that works for you. You can. Like they're not going to stop you from shooting. It's just, trying to shoot from one end of the field to the other.
I might
Usually
be stopping
doesn't
my
work
team.
out that well.
I might be stopping my team from winning, though.
Right. Here's the other thing about that too is like that's generally a bad play because like even if you make it all the way over there, not only is it like going to be such an easy shot to see from so far away that like the other goalie is going to pick it up, but one of the strongest positions in the field. I jokingly said at one point the goalie is the strongest unit in the game, and I can't stop thinking about that. But like it's true though. Like if the goalie is holding the ball, you have ball control. Like there's not much other people can do. Like if he's just holding it in his hands for a while, he's got to get out of the goalie block. He's not very good at being goalie, but he's stuck there. It's really really cool the way it's like the way all of it fits together to try and make make really expressive play out of the same sort of intensity as like any other like competitive multiplayer game. And also there's no killing in it, which is awesome. Unless you get mercy ruled and that which is when another team scores on you 4 points up and then you just lose and then they murder your entire team because you don't deserve to live. That's not true. That's not true. They don't actually do that. You lose just so you can learn how to win. That's the important thing about sports.
That's true.
You lose to win the game.
Exactly. The other important thing we've learned is that like if there is a character that looks like an absolute baddie, that person has put 1,000 hours into this game and is gonna like if they're just like the hottest woman you've ever seen in your life, you're gonna lose. There's no way around it. Anyways, Rematch is awesome. Like everyone should at least try it. It's not for everyone, but like fuck is it fun. It's so fun, especially if you have a group of people to play it with.
Yeah.
Tried to bank it, couldn't do it. Here's what this guy's doing wrong. You got to shoot it off the rim so that you can get it you can get the ball back to you. So that tricks the goalie. But he's just going for straight shots and the goalie's going to get him every time. Oh, let's see if he learned. He didn't learn. Well, he got it anyway. That's good for him.
Sometimes the best fake out is not to fake out at all. Just
Yeah.
straight.
Elvie, you wanted to talk about unique art styles and designs in 2025.
Before we get into that, I do have to go though, so I will catch you all later.
Thank you.
I missed you, Skull.
I was hoping to talk about Nightreign with you, but that's fine.
I know. I haven't actually played Nightreign. I've just heard like Rose
talk
about it. So
are we gonna have to have a Gamesline Nightreign night?
Oh god! All right. Take care, gamers. Happy
Have
gaming.
Goodbye.
Take care. Yeah. So you were saying no, we don't have a lot of games left, but honestly, I think so if you could be the link master of this, since I don't know how to probably But I think like last year, which was like a few months ago at this point, was the year of like a lot of unique titles, and I think like seeing like previews of like what we're getting into in 2026, I think we're gonna see more of that. And there's like I think it's like a bigger, I don't know what to say. Like I think I don't think I'm incorrect, but my theory is I think there is like an interesting, very strong response against, like the issues of AI and, like content generation. And I think we're going to see a lot more people do very intentionally hand-drawn stuff, or weird stuff, specifically weird stuff. So this first game, shown up here is called Bye Sweet Carol. It is clearly inspired by traditional Disney animation. And disclaimer, I played some of these games and I have not played some of these games, so I'm speaking purely from like a visual perspective. And as far as I know, Bye Sweet Carol takes place during the women's suffrage movement, and this girl is trying to find her friend who has gone missing. They like both live in like a boarding school orphanage situation. And it's like basically a side-scrolling, jump scare over here. This side-scrolling, like kind of platform adventure. And yeah, I think it's like fascinating to see this sort of work like come up. And I strongly believe there is like some sort of collective like response towards like I think too, like in general, the past several years in the games industry of like games being more realistic, games being more CGI, like like I think like this like push for like high fidelity graphics, like
Right.
wow, you can see her, what I mean? I think like we're gonna see even more of a further push of games that intentionally look, like again, like a beautiful example of this, like traditionally drawn, all that, inspired by like older artwork. And then, but like some of the further examples I'm going to go into, which, a lot of us have or know about, or like have even put on our like own games list, intentionally weird, intentionally very lo-fi, like every year we kind of see like the, like the whole slew of people doing like intentionally like PS1 graphics horror. I see that every year. People doing game jams around that.
There was the trend of like FMV stuff that was just
yes,
straight up,
for sure.
straight up just recorded full video, like no graphics.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
What the?
And then this year, like we saw like the release of Unbeatable, which is another great example of like, here's this game. Oh yeah. Scott is right here, like.
So good.
The link master. But yeah, this is a game I think us of the site are aware about. I don't think I need to further delve into it, but obviously like it's clear, like based on like anime. And in itself, like its artistic style is so important to the gameplay itself. I think I know we have these discussions too over like I don't know specifically, but you see a lot of discussions around fighting games and frame rate and how animation is such an integral part to like gameplay in fighting games. And I think we don't talk about that enough when it comes to rhythm games specifically too. Like I don't know like how often like that is like something people think about, but that was like such an important part of like this game as well. I think, but yeah, it's like such a distinct style that I don't think I've really seen much anywhere else, at least shown in games. Like again, this is a game with strong UI, like how the rhythm maps are, like it's more than just like, here's another like anime inspired game, but like here's one that actually it's kind of very important too for the rhythm game elements as well.
And the fact that the story mode throws like 6 different types of rhythm game at you, like the final boss like making you do all of shift between all of them at once, where it's like suddenly I'm playing baseball, suddenly I'm riding a motorcycle, suddenly I'm doing the melee combat mini game, rhythm type, and suddenly I'm doing a regular track. It's like, what? Wild.
Yeah. And it's just beautiful. Like there's not a lot to say about it. But yeah, like I think too, like, and again, this has never been not like I don't want to call this a trend. Like I think like it's common to see a lot of indie games that do like use like like old school inspired low bit sprite art. This game is called Everdeep Aurora. I personally like, again, it's like not unique in what it's doing. Like a lot of games do this, because it's both like an actually like functional way for an indie game team to do beautiful sprite work like this, because it is not it is more expensive to do like something fully CGI 3D high fidelity graphics. And again, I think like that's gonna just be something that's like so embraced in indie games specifically, that we I don't think it's ever gonna go away, and like it's done beautifully well here.
Right. There's such a historical aspect to sprite work that it's like it's so difficult to imagine like anything not like you brought up previously the fact that like we're suddenly in the like we hit that like era of early PS1 like horror game nostalgia, so we had the wave of like lo-fi PS1 games, and it's like that itself becomes its own unique aesthetic, but it's like that doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists because like sprite work was such a massive part of early video games that of course people are gonna like keep trying to relive those aspects of it. Because it's like, because one, it still looks awesome, and like obviously our methods of creating sprite work have changed so much over the years that it's like that it like they've only improved, and like you're able to do things that you never would have imagined doing on an NES. But it's like, that creativity is what like breeds new art.
Well, we're also in an era where, like, at least in indie spaces, is nostalgia is encouraged rather than discouraged. So when you see a game like oh my god, my brain isn't remembering Signalis or whatever, something like that, where it's like very old school looking game, like a few years ago that may have been looked at as, why are you wasting your time with this? Nobody's going to buy this PS1 looking trash. But now, like, there's an era of encouragement of like that nostalgia for some of those things. We don't need the high fidelity everything all the time anymore, and it lets games like that come out and succeed. And God, Nubby, oh fucking Nubby.
Yeah, I will say, like, I do think that level of creativity like has existed in its own space for years. Like obviously the modern AAA landscape very much leans toward the high fidelity, the hyper realism, and everything. But it's like you still found a lot of relatively big budget games that were still going for a like a more artistic aesthetic, and still going for like even sprite work, everything like things along those lines, without necessarily needing to be like major, like without necessarily needing to be like here's the biggest, most expensive thing out there.
I mean, like, to give Nubby credit,
yeah, Nubby 2 I think is really interesting because it's going for the aesthetic of like early Flash games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Tutor's particularly like on Nubby, like they're like, and again, from what I've seen last year and like what is coming up in this year, I think there's a very also specific aesthetic for the PC look. Like, I don't know, like thinking about like Windows V, like retro Windows, and like, which is
Newgrounds era.
Yeah, like something about that specifically, like a Windows
Newgrounds shit.
Yes, like, absolutely. Yeah. And like for some reason, like I guess also this departure too from like, what is it, the Frutiger Aero kind of look that people associate a lot with Max, like kind of like this very aquatic, organic, whereas Windows, is like it's kind of crunchy. It kind of looks like this, right?
Like I remember playing this when I was also playing oh my god, I literally just had it in my head and I dropped it. What's the old PC game where you're eating numbers?
Number Munchers?
Number Munchers, that's it.
Number Munchers.
Yeah, there was also Word Munchers.
Yeah.
I played a lot of that growing up. Elementary
gosh.
school 2GS, baby.
Yeah, there is a part that the way this stuff looks is also very specifically, I guess, like an homage or like parodying edutainment games too. Like, you think a
Yes.
lot about like those CD-ROM games that I've had. I grew up, I was like, oh great, we also know about Skate Story, let's play right now. Like, again, Maverick has written like great work, great perspective on this, and it just doesn't look like a skating game. You know what I mean? Like, it's something about this is so interesting and weird. We're entering now the weird territory, like games intentionally being weird, and that's awesome. And I guess challenging like how something should look like for the type of game it is. Like, this is like not something I would just to Texas. I'll say this is not something I would like expect to like. Like if you're pitching us, like how would that look like, right? And it's cool how it turned out and succeeds in what it's trying to do, in a lot of ways. But
like there's this interesting thing where it's like people who make games like this have multiple influences that like and inspirations that like you don't think would ever coalesce, and it's like, well, if you don't try, then like what's the point of creating art? Like
right.
Obviously art isn't just like an amalgamation of like all of your experiences. It can be many different things, but it's like they're like people don't generally ascribe like Dark Souls to a skating game. So it's like, why wouldn't you try? Like, why wouldn't you want to at least try and make these things more unique?
Yeah. And again, I think it follows up with again challenging like AI generated art, and kind of like the issues around it. In hey, like like often the outcome of using something like that leads to something that and again, it doesn't to me personally. Like, you can tell like what it looks like, but like if you're used to seeing it, but like it leads to, it's trying to yield to something polished. It's trying to yield something very like clinical in a way that I think how like I think we're portraying art now is like again changing. Again, I think a lot too about like how all these different surrealist movements and a lot of like modern art like was always in response to like the realism of art that existed before it. Like, it's if you look through art history, it's always like in response to war times and like eras of like huge social distress and like like art intentionally being weird and strange and like with Tingus Goose up on the screen now. This is also something that came out like pretty late last year, which again, like it's just have like if you're aware of this artist, like I think he literally just calls himself Master Dingus. I don't know I don't know the dude's name, but like he's someone who just does surreal like animations like this, and it's like very grotesque. It's just very weird and silly. A lot of stuff that involves like grotesque body horror,
Right.
but it's done funnily. Like, it's not meant to be scary. It's meant to be like absurd, and this is something that came out like again like around.
I want to see
like,
more of this.
late
100% Tingus use.
It reminds me, and again, I've not played this yet. I'm definitely interested in playing it, but like it reminds me a lot too of again Flash games. Like I think as we were talking about, like there's like these like weird puzzle Flash games that we would just run across. And oh dear, oh.
A really strong start to a trailer that I was immediately like, okay, I really need to see what this is about. This is one thing I really appreciate about like having you on Game of the Year stuff, Elvie, is like
because I just be finding things that don't make sense.
You just be finding things, yeah.
She just be finding shit. This is like Tingus Goose was I don't know, like was like. Not was, but like I think it kind of became quickly like streamer bait, quote unquote. Like I know I don't like to use that, but like it is one of those games that's like, oh, that's weird. I gotta stream it. Like sort of the big guys doing it, and like
this does feel like it's going for an almost like not like roguelike builder thing, but like trying to make a certain build in order to make a certain thing happen, which is really interesting.
That too, like I guess related to Nubby, like there has been also this surgence of like multiplier idle money like number go up games. That's like a whole different discussion. I think people love to see the number go up. And just different ways they go about it. I guess like this does fall into that category. And again, though, like I think it's like a weird I guess I don't know, like a deconstruction of the game, because that is inherently what a game is, right? Like you're progressing and you're going to see the number go up. I mean, like you also see that like growth of an explosion around like the survivors genre,
Right.
which is like it is kind of like a very simply developed game. Not to like undermine, like there's still work behind it, but it is kind of just stripping down a game to its bare essentials. So and people just reskated it in a different way.
Right.
Oh, there you go. It goes in the pig.
I feel like my brain broke watching.
It keeps going. We're seeing, we're seeing a lot too. And again, this has been going on to like Amnesia. Like we're seeing a lot too of like horror games that intentionally. We were talking about the PS1 horror games. Like I think like going back to the roots of how Silent Hill was originally made, for instance, like like people, it is a recurring fact that most people know the fog was used to intentionally hide certain parts of the map, but it does make the game scary. And
it was used because it was a technical limitation, but it also is like it
makes
also
it scary.
Is like it adds atmosphere.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot too of like this sort of like very low res, very weird, crusty style that to like explore these types of horror games. Let me see, we drop more links. Because I think but like Equipsia is something that also like came out again the tail end of last year. So like a lot of these like games I'm highlighting specifically were like, I think games that people have not seen. And again, just circling back to like what I'm trying to talk about is like, these have interesting aesthetics that I think people should check out.
I did see
you did see Room Sweeper. I think it only came out like literally the start of this year, maybe. So we're entering 2026. Look at that. But this is again like something that seems very inspired by the old operating system. Like I know the story is you're like a maintenance person. And it's just like a very funny, weird, clever way to use this format to be
not related to talking about the aesthetics of these things, but this is also of the same genres above Balatro. That's
number go up.
That's like take a specific style of thing, and in this case it's Minesweeper, and turn it into a roguelike.
Yeah.
Which is really the fact that it keeps happening. It's like I understand that like things want to hit the same level of success as Balatro, but also they keep finding really unique ways to do it, and that's what I appreciate.
Somebody made a mahjong version of Balatro. Like it's there is so much like weird like cool stuff in the hey, we're taking a thing and making it a roguelike department.
This name. I feel like Scotty would have seen this. Is Don't Stop Girly Pop. And it's, let me read this. Spread the love, don't stop. Girly Pop is a Y2K arena movement shooter where staying still is not an option. Just don't stop moving.
They made a Doom for girls.
Yeah, they did make a Doom for girls. So now we're entering like 2026 territory of like things that I believe are out to come soon. And ridiculous. Again, just re-emphasizing things are trying to be more ridiculous, and I respect that a lot. Can't see shit, but I do respect the
this one too is also like I don't know all the specifics of it, but it is like it also has like I believe like a fully unique soundtrack that is like that's just like all like girl pop.
Yeah. And that's
they have a phone number. That's awesome. That's awesome.
This does have like the combined elements too of like the FMV aspects too, like the hand, like like I think we seen it with Eclipsia too. That is someone's hand that they just like like mocapped and all that. Like what's coming up now is Lucid Blocks, which seems to be someone's like inspiration. Videos. Which seems to be someone's inspiration, coming from Minecraft. It clearly is like that's Minecraft. Hightail came out, and you're like, oh, but like these kind of weird
Yeah.
like block open worlds whatever inspired games, and this one is interesting. And yeah, this is someone's hand, and that's fun. Like like I wonder like how many other physical props they did to make this.
It's very evocative of early
Yeah,
early FPSs that did this, like early
yeah, for
first person
sure.
games that did the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And then like famous example in Mortal Kombat, like outright just doing that with their characters. And that's
Right.
very fun. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I don't like this is like clearly like right, like I don't know when you think about like weird liminal spaces and that being like a thing, that is also kind of like a trendy aesthetic as well.
Mhm.
Backrooms type shit, like intentional, like kind of lonely spaces. That kind of fits that bill as well. Yeah, I've been following this too. Like it's just been like interesting to see where that might go at all. I don't know, like where it fits in the. I don't know, like what is the word for it? Cube, block, building.
We can just call them
Craft
blocking.
sim. Yeah, block game, whatever.
This okay.
Block slop.
Block
So
slop, yeah.
this one is probably a little bit more known.
Yeah, a little more known. But yeah, there's like a Pony Island sequel as well coming. So, and again, it's doing not quite the same thing, but it is again like exploring weird, different things visually in a way that should, try to surprise you, and that's and that's fun. That's fun.
Right.
I think overall my conclusion is like games should be weird, and I like that. And and then we gotta just keep games weird. We can't let like AI slop really. I know like there's like a lot of doomer talk around it. And, like I don't think that's like happening. I think like we clearly see a lot of these projects up and coming that are still doing strange subversive things, and I don't think that's like gonna be too much of a concern. I think for like a lot of games trying to do strange things moving forward. So we gotta perform in with some Wu Chong Pro ZD some acting here.
This looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've like seen a lead up to this. Like I was like, oh, like I don't know. I felt surprised when I saw the trailer for this. I was like, oh, cool.
I loved Inscription. I've been meaning to like try the original Pony Island.
Right.
I would absolutely play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the tour of
weird ass games.
It's such a cool thing though that like I part of why I love gaming is stuff like that exists.
Yeah.
So speaking of weird roguelikes, I guess it's finally time for me to talk about Nightreign, which is
the Reign of Night.
An extremely strange game in terms of like the latest from FromSoft of their oeuvre. Like I've seen so many weird arguments about what does and does not count as a Souls-like. And it's so interesting to see the people who created this genre just completely break it open and just do something completely different. They turn it into Fortnite.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like that's incredibly sick to even begin to try and do something like that. I'm just grabbing a quick video.
Now I have a quick question on that. I mean, you can do what you need to do. Meanwhile, like I'm curious if like as someone who's like outside of that realm of like community, like was there like a negative response? Like I'm curious as to like what the response was to this type of game that is very different from everything else in the franchise, and which I think you're going to go into.
So leading up to it, there was a lot of negativity. There were a lot of people like a lot of people like in like a lot of people I knew who like were in the soul space or whatever.
The soul
they were very like because I do a lot of like when I play these games I do a lot of invading, so it's like I like there's just a couple small communities I'm in that are just like we also do invasion stuff, we do PvP just to like group up, play, whatever. And like when I was like reading their opinions on this, it was very, very negative. It was mixed for the most part. There was a lot of people being like, I don't like this isn't what I want out of this sort of game. Like, why would you make it like this? And I think a lot of people were eventually won over,
Right.
because the style of game that it is still fairly different in terms of like what an actual Souls like is. Because what it's trying to do instead of because this is just playing through the opening of the game, so it's whatever. Let me see if they have an actual run in here and get
People
past
don't know
it.
what they want.
We'll know what they want.
'Cause they got Elden Ring, which is already like has as much stuff in it as the whole Dark Souls trilogy. And then they made a big DLC, which is basically like an entire game unto itself. People are like,
Yes.
no, just make more of that instead of
I
trying
know.
to experiment a little bit.
And then they experiment a little bit, and it's awesome. Turns out it's really, really fun because the thing that they're trying to hit upon is like, what if we made you make the like snap decisions that you would normally make in combat when it comes to like Elden Ring, Souls game and stuff, and make that part of the traversal, make that part of getting from one spot to another, and it is all about you have your map here, and you're doing a lot of like quickly peeking in and like peeking into it real quick just to see like where's the nearest landscape, where should I go next. If you're on a team, usually someone is like the especially if you're not on voice calls and you're just like playing with randos, usually one person becomes like the designated like mapper that's just like, all right, I'm gonna pin the points that we're gonna go to next, and they like lead the team. And then it's up to the rest of the team to either follow them or split up and like try and like get a bunch of different things done together in that way, which is like both viable strategies, but generally what you want to do is stick together. That sort of that sort of lends itself better to like if you run into if you run into an enemy that's really, really strong that you can't deal with on your own, then you want to be able to like move. This guy is playing it solo for some reason. That's insane. You shouldn't be doing that. Also, he's wasting a ton of time. He needs to go. He doesn't have time to be fucking around. You shouldn't be
Because the zone
you shouldn't
strengths,
be
right?
fighting this
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. You should be
What-
fighting
what-
this guy. You should be
what are-
running to the settlement that's next to him to go and kill the boss to get a good drop.
What are some things you like about it that like does better? I mean, or like rather like what features do you like about this game compared to like other similar, like Fortnite, etc. from your experience, or like what does it do better? Probably.
Yeah, so obviously it has a lot of like battle royale influence in the sense of like there is a circle, the circle's coming in, you don't want to be there when the circle is there.
Yeah.
And I find it really interesting that this game is a fully cooperative game. There's no PvP. There's no like oh, another player randomly is gonna show up and kill you. That's sort of what people are like are expecting Duskbloods to be, which is the next big release that's coming specifically for the Switch too. This guy doesn't know how to play. It's driving me crazy. It's their first time. It's their first time. They just played the tutorial. They're still going. But what I appreciate about it is the like you have the aspect of Fortnite or a PUBG where you have a whole bunch of places marked on a map and you're trying to figure out what's the most like efficient route to go from this place to this place to this place. And where Fortnite or PUBG has a lot more downtime, if in Nightreign, if you're not on the move, if you're not constantly killing things, if you're not like plotting efficiently, then you're losing out on experience, and you need experience to level up, and you need levels in order to beat the final boss of the run. So there is like, there's a roguelike aspect to it. There's there's a run-based aspect to it. Also the same sense that like, battle royales, like like battle royales have that same thing of like you find loot when you find loot just to like pick it up and then you lose it at the end of a round because that's the way it's supposed to move. But like there's a lot of skill in figuring out just movement and placement and like quickly plotting the ways you and your friends are going to be moving through a space that is in a lot of ways very hostile to you, not just from like an enemy perspective, but also in terms of like, okay, there's a large cliff here. How do we get past this large cliff? Because we need to get from one spot to another. That's very, very important. And it's really interesting in that regard. Like trying to like very quickly make those decisions of I gotta go. Um, and and also that like added aspect of like because it's a fully cooperative game, you and your friends do feel like you're sort of like in it together in i- like in this like really stressful like state of movement. There are emotes in this game. You can emote. I don't know why you would. I don't know why
Sometimes
you
you
would.
gotta emote.
You don't have the time to emote. There's like one part of the run specifically where there's any downtime, and that's after the second night, after you've finally beaten the two bosses that will lead you to the third and final boss. Time stops, and then you can just stop, and you can go to the last merchant, and you can just like get all your stuff together. But that's like, that is like the only luxury you get. It is otherwise super like like this guy spent his entire time raiding this one area before the circle started coming in, which is like you should have rated like 4 or 5 by now, buddy. You don't have you shouldn't, you're only level 3. What's wrong with you? Try not to be judgmental, obviously, but that's what I love about this game is like you're constantly thinking about the progression forward. Um, even if something drastically fucks up, let's say like
Huh.
two of your teammates die on a boss they probably shouldn't have been fighting, and then they're gonna lose a level, and you gotta just move. You know, it's on you to make the decision of do we keep trying to fight this boss that may or may not be a losing fight, or do we cut our losses and like try and move on to something else, try and do some other different leveling. And that's what's cool. Like the ability to the ability to do this at like a moment's notice and to commit to your decisions, whether they're a mistake, whether it's a good idea, whether it's a bad idea. Every single thing, every single thing is so like every single motion you make is so important.
God,
That's the power of a
I
clock.
still really want to dig into this with you sometime because I need a Sherpa
It's a
to
lot of
help
fun.
me
It's
through.
a lot of fun.
Like I need a guy. We keep talking about playing Elden Ring and this together, and we never fucking do it. We gotta do
We
it.
just gotta schedule something.
Yeah, we gotta schedule some hangout time for Elden Ring because yeah, I haven't not touched this.
The other thing I really like about it too is like I talk about how fast and pivotal every like small decision is during a run, but it's like in between runs when you're just like hanging out in your hub area, it's like it's all full of characters, and all of the like every single playable character is a character you see in your hub area. You know what I mean? And like a lot of them just have like they have very like passive dialogue, like oh, we're gonna do the thing or whatever. But there's also every single character has a quest line associated with them, and like through that quest line you learn basically all of the all of the all of the like motivations of all the characters, what they're like, and it's like it's such an interesting and unique cast, and it's so strange that it comes out of a lineage of your character in a Souls game is your like soulless, faceless guy, and also we don't normally do character work this heavy. You know what I mean? It's such a broad departure in so many ways. You got to fight the guy, man. You can't just stand there. You can't just stand there. Yeah, that's essentially what I gotta say on it.
Then, do we want to take
yeah.
questions?
Yeah, I would love to. If we have any, oh my god,
Yeah.
if we have questions, we should take questions.
Yeah, if we have questions, we should take questions.
I wasn't even like thinking about this in the same way like we do our normal podcast. Let me see. Do we have the thread open?
I mean, we've got the ability to do some yapping after it, but
Yeah, sure.
I
That's-
think
that's-
it is fun to like, even if we don't have questions. If anyone in the chat would like to ask a question,
Please, by
please
all
do.
means.
Ask us about this year, or some of the other stuff from last year, if we have takes on it and whatnot. Because
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I do have two questions, two actual questions from our podcast question. Our first one comes from Cello Buster. Cello Buster
course.
asks, "What is the game of the year 2015?"
The beginner's guide.
That is a really good game. What was
wow.
our game of the year of 2015? That's a good question.
That is a crazy question.
Let's take a look.
I wanna-
Probably Bloodborne.
I think I'm pretty sure I like joined right after 2015.
Oh, so you should have an answer.
Game of the years, day 4, top games. Well, let me look at day 4. See if we have the awards there, or if it's just the podcast they did. Worst game. Okay, hold on. You know what? I'm actually gonna go through all of these. All right, where's day 1? Day 1, and this is all definitive. Day 1, best soundtrack, Party Hard. Runners up, Undertale.
Wow.
And Ori in the Blind Forest. That's so sick. Best visuals, The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
You know what? That's a good looking
Sure,
game.
yeah.
I mean, Bloodborne came out, so fuck you. But
This is not a category we did in a long time. Most remastering.
God, we could have brought that one back this year.
What does that mean?
The winner was Rare Replay, and the runners up were Grim Fandango and Mega Man Legacy.
Because there were a lot of remasters coming out in 15.
And the What the Fuck award went to Kodami.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull up day 2. What do we got on day 2? Day 2. Hella Brokenest Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Yeah.
Best multiplayer Rocket League. Wow,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's huge.
I guess that would go to the foot version of Rocket League this year.
All right, here we go. Best surprise. Contradiction, Spot the Liar, runners up, Undertale, Her Story.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Most disappointing, Hotline Miami 2. That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Best robot was Loaderbot from Tales from the Borderlands. That's right. This was the year. I know what it is. I know what it is already.
Yep.
It's already. Best moment scene or level, The Bloody Baron Quest, Witcher 3. Best writing, Witcher 3. Wow, Witcher 3 sweep. Best character, Loaderbot from Tales of the Borderlands. Most annoying character, Warren Graham from Life is Strange. Alphys Undertale is also in most annoying character.
I'm really feeling the giant bomb influence on classic Gamesline here. There's a lot of overlap.
God. As soon as I heard contradiction, Spot the Liar, I was
I
like,
know.
somebody
Yeah,
has been watching a lot
that's
of
like,
Giant Bomb.
oh. So
Okay,
watch that whole playthrough.
Last set of awards. Worst game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Wow.
And the game of the year. Here's the number 10 list. Number 10, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Number 9, Kerbal Space Program.
Oh yeah.
Number 8, Undertale. Number 7,
Wow.
Splatoon.
Okay.
Number
That's fair,
6, Contradiction Spot the Liar. Number 5, Fallout 4.
Oh,
Number
wow.
4, Her Story.
Oh,
Number
wow.
3, Super Mario Maker. Number 2, The Witcher 3. And your game of the year for 2015 is Tales from the Borderlands. Which I agree. That's a good game.
Yeah, that's probably the best Telltale.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is the game, not necessarily the best game of 2015, but the game most of 2015 that represents 2015?
I have an immediate answer, and it is keep talking, nobody explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The type of humor in that year was I did enjoy that game. I remember playing it a lot, but yeah, for sure. That's like, woo. I know.
To me, the quintessential 2015 games, which are the two that I always think about and go back to, are one, Bloodborne, obviously, because
Yeah.
it's the
Mhm.
best video game
Yeah,
ever
yeah, yeah.
made. And two,
Mhm.
and two is Metal Gear Solid 5. Just
Oh,
because I
wow.
think about it as like this is sort of like a landmark moment in terms of like this is probably like one of the most modern feeling games that there is. It looks really good. It like
Plays really good.
it feels like a next generation thing, especially as like this is what if Konami and Kojima's relationship never fractured, this is what these games would have looked like from then on in.
Right.
And then it did Metal Gear Survive. But it's like but then it's like it didn't happen because of everything
Yeah.
that happened between them. So
Right.
you have this like it becomes this interesting touchstone of like you think about it compared to the years around it, and it's like Fallout New Vegas came out in 2011. That's like 4 years before Metal Gear Solid 5. And it feels like it's so much older than that. But it's not.
Going back to that list, though, is just like going back to look at 2015 is kind of wild. Like,
I know.
what a
I know.
year!
There's a lot of
What a
it was
year
pretty good
for
year for games.
Contradiction Spot the Liar to be in your top 10 list, and not fucking Bloodborne.
I probably would have put Contradiction there. I just like,
And like,
I look at the people who were there at the time, and it's like, oh yeah, none of these people played these games.
then like Undertale being
It was John, it was Ryan, it was Niall, it was Michael, it was Kay. None of them played Bloodborne, obviously.
like Undertale being like low is very interesting
I
now,
know.
knowing that how much impact
It's probably
you
like
know.
one of the most important games.
Yeah, in modern games. Yeah, that's right.
God.
How little did y'all know? Wait, what? Who won music again? I'm sorry. Who won music again?
Ooh, I have to look. It was
Contradiction Spot the Liar.
Yeah,
No.
Contradiction sleep.
it was best soundtrack was I'm pulling it up again. It's taking a little bit to load. Best soundtrack was Pretty Hard, which game I don't even remember. I don't
remember what that is. Yeah, what is? Let me look it up.
Like that's one of the things I do miss about the Game of the
okay.
Year discussion, though, was certain categories like that. Like
Yeah.
talking about
Very
game music and
divisive.
listening
Yeah.
to it for a significant period of time was always like really fun because hey,
Okay.
it introduced me to so much cool game music, and I
Okay,
love music.
Next year when we do the special podcast, because I like this format. I think this is what we should do going forward. Next year when we do the special podcast, we should do a music segment specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
just like
totally.
just like bring music from games and be like, hey, you got to check this shit out.
Because I do think about it, and like Claire Obscure Near Automata had a really good soundtrack.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
But that is, you're right though. That's exactly what it was trying to evoke.
yeah, and it did a good fucking job on it. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Is like there was a lot of good fucking music this year, and like a lot of it in games that people are not going to play. Like, hell, half the best music in Unbeatable, you have to buy the special edition
Yep.
to actually be
Yeah.
able to play. Like, what the fuck? That actually makes me kind of sad because all my favorite songs in there are like only in the deluxe edition because they were like, hey, we need bonuses. But
That's
like, no, I
crazy.
just want
That's
to play
crazy.
Jamie Page in the normal one, damn it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel best OST created, not a joke. I respect it. You know what? I
Yeah.
have to respect your
There's definitely a lot of really cool stuff out there that I, am excited about. Like a lot of a lot of the good memories from those things came from like, yeah, the best music, the best design stuff. Like that's why, Elvie coming in with the, hey, let's talk about game design and game looks had
You're
me
right.
so fucking happy. Like I was like, yes.
I think it's like interesting too when we talk about this stuff every year because like sometimes there's a game that is bad, but there's like elements to it that are very
Right.
strong.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
and that supports the music conversation. Like here's this game with this banger soundtrack, but the game sucks, and it's a
Yeah.
shame the music. You know,
Or
Yeah,
here's
and
this, here's this really cool thing in a game that nobody talks about it, and instead they spend all their time talking about how this is the first time a JRPG has been good or whatever.
Right. It's why I appreciated. It's why I really appreciated categories like best mechanic because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is us taking a time to like identify things that we think that we enjoy and find unique about games that sometimes are otherwise like very similar to other games or just don't really stand out that
There were a
like,
couple of like
that interesting.
complete dog shit games that got nominations or even won best mechanic because
Yeah,
it was
'cause
like,
they
here's
just
a
tried something unique and interesting.
and yeah, like everything around that unique and interesting thing might have been a failure, but they did something super cool. Like
Exactly.
I think there always is a place to talk about stuff like that, and I like the idea of using this to be able to talk positively about things. I think that's what's nice about this year's Game of the Year stuff is it's all been positive instead
Right.
like too much of video games now. Like I think it's just the tenor of social media
Yeah.
has made categories like worst game and shit just sound like fucking unpleasant to talk about because
Right.
like there's so much fucking grifting and shit around video games that you can't
right.
half the time you can't discuss video games online without like some grifter chiming in and being like blah, 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 blah. It's like fuck off, just let me be happy.
I have one more question for y'all, and then we can call it here. What were the juiciest games of 2025, and who is sponsoring the juice? So, what were the wettest, wildest, juiciest games? Is what I want to ask. That comes from Solon. Thank you, Solon.
Thank you. Yes.
Wow.
The juiciest games of 2025.
Oh my god, I forgot the juicing category.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about it in terms of like, oh, what was the wettest game?
I'm thinking about the wettest game.
You know what game juice? Warriors fucking Abyss. That is a dog shit game, but it is a fucking incredible game. Like
for-
everything around the game, not great. The
for
actual
people,
gameplay of the game,
real quick, Lorelai, real
fucking
quick.
juicing.
For people who don't know what juicing means, because it's been a few years since we talked about the juicinest game. We had a recurring category, which essentially was like the game feel category, but like we kept coming up with like stupider and longer names for it each time. Let me try and see. In 2023, it was the 100% Orange Juicing Award for when you're juicing your game hard and it feels good to play a game and you feel like a real boy who has never told a lie award. So we have. I'll say there, like the games I was talking about in Nightreign and Rematch are extremely juicing. Those are games that are juicing. It's all about just like playing a game.
That's my Dynasty Warriors Abyss spiel, because that game just feels good. Like it feels good to play. Like is it an amazing game? Like, is everything around the gameplay good? No. The gameplay? Oh, that shit juices so hard.
It's all about, does the game go hard?
Does the game? Am I looking at really big numbers?
Game
Yes,
Story is a very juicing game. Yeah, I like. I didn't even need to look at it that much to know that's a game that juices.
Yeah.
I stick by my horse girls. Listen, I respect very deeply the love and admiration for Uma Musume.
Look, I did 2 runs during this podcast.
I don't think you can call it a juicing game. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Running,
it's a game where you're watching girls racing.
They're running.
Unless
they're
you're
sweating.
talking about like blasting through the story mode as fast as possible to make the best optimal decisions.
I mean, Coral Islands patch came out, and I wouldn't say that's juicing, but it's definitely milking.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry.
Milking is a different category, I think.
Okay, so
when the game feels so good and you're milking your cows so good.
No. Oh no. I was really interested though, like as soon as I read this without the context of thinking about juicing games, like what are the wettest games? What are the games that you look at and go, that would be wet to touch? Like that would be moist.
Death Stranding 2 came out, right? Like, so I think that's a wet game.
That is 100%.
That's a very you're on the beat. It's literally the title.
That is a game that is covered in juice.
It's covered in all sorts of liquids.
Crystal, do you have any juicy games?
Juice type games? I don't think I really played any juice type games this year.
Did you play any games that were particularly wet?
There's one map in VR chat. I don't remember the name, but they actually added like parkour mechanics to it. Somehow. You could like wall run and grind on rails. I guess that was kind of a juicy game.
That kind of slaps.
That's awesome. I gotta try that. Okay, so that's your juiciness game is a VR chat map. What's your wettest game?
Wettest game?
Yes. What's your game from 2025 that you look at and go, that would definitely be damp if I touched it?
I mean, I played a lot of Wave Race 64, if that counts.
Good enough. No, that's 100% count.
That's
you know they made that in 1996 and the water looks like that. That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like Jet Moto, eat your heart out.
Expedition 33 is kind of soppy. You know what? I agree.
It is.
I agree. That's a very wet game.
It is.
There's a lot of you get covered in juices. The like paint strokes and stuff look very wet. There's a lot of swimming around. There's the one level that's just entirely underwater. I agree. That's a pretty wet game.
It's a wet game. It's very damp.
It's a pretty wet game. It's a pretty damp game. I think that's gonna be it for our game of the year.
I would like to ask one last question before we go. 2026 is starting. What's everyone really looking forward to this year? What do you want from games? Not just specific games, because everyone knows my answer. I'm talking, what do you want from the games industry, other than stop laying people off and being dog shit big companies. But like, what do you want?
Um, we are seeing a lot of pushback on AI when it comes to like smaller, when it comes to
Mhm.
like one. We're learning in real time that we can bully companies and they will go, okay, we'll stop. Um, but two, like I think like I do think we're getting closer and closer to the larger AI bubble bursting. It's a little bit. It's. I don't think it's gonna burst as hard as NFTs did. I don't think it's gonna burst as
I think,
hard as like crypto still is, because it's like that's
yeah.
been downward
I
trending
you
for a really
I
long
I
time.
think it would. I think it'll be even more quiet than the way NFTs just
Right.
suddenly became unpopular. You know,
Right.
right?
The-
Like I think we're not gonna see it announced. I don't think we're, but I think it's gonna be
I-
a weird. Yeah.
I think we're going to see the effects from it when it
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
does
sure. And
burst. And I
that
think a
it will
lot
be
of
bad.
companies, a lot of big companies are going under or
Right.
being hit hard by it because they've
Yeah.
tied so much of their money up in it. We're definitely going to notice.
Mhm.
But I think the appreciable difference between AI and stuff like NFTs is like you can present AI in such a way that it like actually like that there is like actual appreciable value there. You know what I mean? Like uh, I do think there are certain instances where like you can apply AI technology in a way that is not inherently harmful. That I think would be smart. But we need to get we need to get Gen AI, we need to get AI voices, we need to get fucking AI animated cutscenes. We need we need fucking Sven Vikny, this idiot being like, "Oh, we just come up with our concept art with AI." You need to stop. Stop.
And then the concept artists coming out and being like, "Fucking no! What the fuck are you talking about?"
I can't imagine what it's like to work in the Lorelai PR department and just you can't stop your CEO from posting.
He keeps going, motherfucker. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up.
Um,
Oh.
Nick,
I think, yeah, that reminds me, to related to that. I wonder too. I don't know. Gamers never change. I don't think we're ever going to see an improvement of gamers needing like with better PR. Like people
Yeah.
just. I think people not shutting up is actually a very good case of like, okay, yeah, all right, sure, yeah, just out yourself that you don't know what's going on and you need to, be criticized for it, right? Like I think that's helpful, but it is just. It's that simple. Just don't say anything. I don't understand.
So Twitter has been worse than it's ever been,
Oh no, it's bad.
by
Yeah,
far, obviously.
yeah. I
But
don't know if it's yeah.
I do think like the mass exodus of people from it, and the sort of like and the general like lack of recognition it's been getting from larger media bodies has is sort of like is sort of weirdly beneficial in a way. Like obviously it's a cesspool there, don't go there,
Yeah.
it sucks. But because it's all isolated there, suddenly like if you're not looking at it, you're not seeing the awful take machine. You know what I mean? You're not seeing the rage bait. You're not seeing the market designed to to intentionally drive headlines by just saying dumb bullshit. And I think the goal of ending rage bait in 2026 is closer now than it's ever been, because Elon might finally do it, but also the website might just get straight up censored at some point. you know
Yeah.
and obviously that stuff has existed in many forms, on image boards, on YouTube for a really
Yeah.
long time.
You
So it's
know.
like
Mhm.
it's not like killing one website would end it all, but it's like, man, it would really come close.
At least it would keep the like press people from concentrating on like two completely nuts posts and then
Right.
going, gamers are mad about, and it's like
I know.
that was
I
like
know.
3 dudes on Twitter, bro. Like what? Okay, you could stop grifting, please. But no, like 20. I am just hoping for 2026 to continue having a lot of games that appeal to me.
Mhm.
Like
100%. Yep.
a lot of stuff coming out of Japan is exciting. A lot of stuff coming out of the US is exciting. A lot of stuff coming out of the indie spaces has me like really excited over the last like last year was like so good independent wise for me. There were so many indie games that came out from different publishers that I ended up falling in love with. It was a huge like I want another year where I don't include Neo 2 on my top 10 list.
Of course.
You
Of
know,
course.
that's
And there might be a different
literally
game that you do this time, but we'll see.
like
We don't know yet.
yeah,
We don't
like,
know.
that's what I want though. Is like a year where it is more years where putting together a top 10 list is hard.
Mhm.
Like where I'm actually thinking about every single placement and stuff like that and going, wow, this year fucking ruled. And I can see another year like that because there's so much stuff I'm excited for in all sorts of spaces.
Thank you so much, Lorelai. Thank you, Elvie. Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah.
Thank you to Skull Spencer, our friend, for showing up. Thank you to everyone currently on Gamesline who put out fucking amazing articles. Thank you to the myriad of guests I can't even begin to name right now, who all lent their voice to Game of the Year this year. This has been a really, really awesome Game of the Year. I'm happy with how it's turned out. Um, I hope we can like continue on this trend in the future because I do, like it. If I can soapbox a little bit, Game of the Year every year has always been really, really hard.
Yeah.
In one way or another. And we've come up with so many unique ideas, and we've done a whole bunch of like really crazy things. Like when we were putting out regular videos and we had more video editors, that stuff is work I'm all really, really proud of. Like that's like I've had like people like I know in real life come up to me and be like, "Oh hey, I saw that that thing you put out like in that like Game of the Year video. It's really good." It's like, "Awesome. That's so cool. I'd love to get that sort of validation." uh it's like every single time we do this, it's always long, it's always stressful. And this year, like even last year when all we did was our own personal lists and nothing else, it still felt longer and more dragged out than it should have been. And it's like this year felt so, I don't want to say it felt easy because it was still a lot of
Yeah.
work. It was still very stressful, but it's like this is the most comfortable I've ever felt doing this.
Yeah.
Um
No, and like Crystal, like a lot of
abs-
that you really ran you and Elvie ran things on the back end a lot and just helped so much with so many things, both like helping me get together my top 10 list. Like I I used to be somebody who was really comfortable with writing, and combination of letting me get in my head about my dyslexia and stuff like that, and it's made it really hard to write. And but your help and John and Rose and Nicholas looked at my stuff, and like everyone who did and helped me nail that down, it really made me feel excited about writing again. Like I've written more in the last 3 weeks than I have in a year. And I feel like I'm on the path to getting where I want to be, and I can't thank y'all enough. Again, I
Hope you
want to
write
be
more.
more than just the audio editor person. I want you to see my fucking my name in a headline for more than just a podcast. And I that's gonna happen. And I can't thank y'all enough.
it's it's been an awesome year.
Yeah.
Anything you
Totally.
would like to add, Crystal?
Yeah, I hope you write more, Lorelai. I hope everyone who like hasn't written something in a while feels like a boost of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and end this very, very special extra long podcast. Our website, of course, is gamesline.net. That's the same thing as our Blue Sky handle, which is just gamesline.net. We're on Tumblr, gamesline.tumblr.com, facebook.com/gamesline, youtube.com/@thegamesline. And if you're already not watching us on Twitch, if you're with us right now, go ahead and follow us. It's twitch.tv/gameslinetv. And if you want to support us, it's $3 a month, patreon.com/gamesline. We have a little bit of exclusive content up there. That's something I think we want to like really try and get better at this year, is like coming up with more exclusive stuff. I have one thing in mind that I have to like hyper focus on, but that's on me. That's just on me. And if you want to join our Discord, that's the gamezone.zone. Our usual podcast theme is Crush off the album Magic is Real by Melt Channel, and you can get their songs from not just Melt Channel but their other act Magic Circuit, meltchannel.bandcamp.com and magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. I would ask what we have working on, but I don't know what anyone is working on right now, because like I think we're all just happy to be done.
I've got something coming up in probably a couple weeks from now. I'm almost done with it, but my Unbeatable review is also coming out.
I'm very
We're doing a
excited to hear
second
that.
review of that game because both Maverick and I want to share why that game's so special to me. Maverick wanted to share his feelings on the game, so I'm really excited to get that out because it's been a really emotional writing experience on that one.
That's good. Where can we find y'all, Elvie?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky. It should be LVMAEPARIN. So you can follow me there for antics. I myself am like trying to work on catching up writing as well. Specifically thinking of games I have never mentioned, in terms of like experiencing last year and what I feel about them, and kind of just showing also the ways that they didn't quite make it to, I guess, like my personal top list. So that'd be cool to get into finally working that way. So yeah, anticipate some reviews.
Crystal, where can we find you?
You can find me at Arcane Crystal on Blue Sky. Listen to other podcasts at audioandtrippy.com.
Lorelai.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Judgment Scythe and judgmentscythe.bluesky.social. I'll be streaming a lot more coming up. Especially with Neo 3 coming out. I can't wait to share my opinion on that game. It's the demo is really good. You should play the demo, and it's the worst part of the game.
I'm Scott. You can find me at on Blue Sky at fkasocks.com, and I'm on Twitch streaming every Tuesday, twitch.tv/fkasocks. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This has been your Game of the Year 2025, and now finally 2026 can begin. Thank you and good night.
Hello, Craig.
Hello.
No, I said hello, Craig, not Skull. Sorry.
Yeah, I was also saying hello to Craig.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually been gaslighting you. My real name is actually Craig, and it has been
Fuck,
this
I
whole
hope
time.
not. I fucking hope not. Craig is like literally my default name for douchebag white person. Like,
so when you go on Craigslist,
yeah,
yeah.
we're learning a lot. And then Elvie is gonna show up later, and we
It's
can
like
talk
when I
about
pick on some random guy on social media, I'm like, all right, fucking Craig.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Elvie's not here for. We got a whole like 2 hours. No Elvie.
That's fine.
We could talk
That's
about
fine.
we could talk about games for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course
easily.
we do that all the time.
It's kind of our thing.
Especially if Lily shows up.
All right, well, launch us in whenever you're ready.
All right, I'll set up the oh wait, that's the wrong screen. All right, now loading no mics.
I'm gonna change my shirt real quick. One sec.
I'll make the tweet.
Hey, question, Scott.
He just walked away from his computer.
Of course. I can hit the oh wait, make sure I'm on the right. Okay, I almost set us live on my channel.
Got Lorelai had a question.
What's up?
Yes.
I'm listening.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, Lorelai did have a question.
Okay.
When people jump in, is Craig gonna add blank space to the start of their track so they line up with everyone?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
that's literally what it does. That's what it's for.
Oh, I know, but I've had ones where like it's been desynced a little.
That's weird. Technically,
Yeah.
what it does is it just places it on the OBS track where they started.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I
One sec.
am going to hit the start streaming button on the now loading screen now that I know I've got all the right things set up, and
Yup.
then I'll go live when you tell. I'll do the PS1 intro when you tell me to.
Okay, 1 second. Swapping this, changing this. Hold on. Hold.
And
Activate.
remember, when I say go, you can just go, because I'm going to say go right at the end of the PS1 intro, right after I do, like at the same time I do my scene switch. So, okay, let me. Oh, I did not. Oh wait, I can make sure okay, good. My OBS is my mic is going to OBS properly. Good.
Who dropped out?
That was Crystal.
Oh, Crystal's still in the video.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
All right. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready to go, and I'll switch us over.
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
All
All
good
right.
over here.
Gonna load the intro now.
Let's go ahead and make sure we gotta post it out to stuff too.
Never mind. I'm not trying the intro now.
The post
Then
ready whenever we are actually live.
Hit the post. We're currently rolling.
Okay.
yeah,
post
we
up?
are
Yeah.
live.
I'll go ahead and post it in the channel. We are live now. Okay. I'm gonna post it in my server too.
Then I will go over to the intro, to the intro, and load us in.
Absolutely. I have to go grab our Twitch chat. It's imperative that I grab the Twitch chat.
Ah,
And then ready whenever you are. Or
all
if you
right.
want a little bit. Since
What?
if you want to give it a little bit.
Yeah,
it's only
that's
been a few minutes.
yeah. You want to give it
Yeah.
a few.
But I trust you to send us in.
Yep. No, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's sending us in. Sending us in and finding a way to reference Neo 2 and everything I do.
Of course. Obviously.
Although that's changing. Fuck.
I look out of my Helldivers drop pod at your Helldivers drop pod, and it's all covered in Neo stickers.
I throw in the loading screen so that I can crack open a sody pop.
Is this thing off?
The podcast recording isn't, but the stream is on the loading screen for a minute.
Gotcha. I was just asking to make a joke.
Oh.
No, I've been so good on the load screen.
No, I've been. Oh, I am. Oh my god. How much do I like y'all? I'm not playing Neo 3 right now. Oh my god. They made it a Metroidvania.
Usually what it takes. Everything
It's-
needs to be.
It's so fucking good. It might be better than 2. I'm fucking just
I mean, wait, hold on. Neo wasn't a Metroidvania before,
No, it was
and Neo 2 wasn't.
Neo 2 was not. They you complete everything. This time they're like semi open world like zones that for between stages. And yeah, you need to unlock abilities later in the game to go back to earlier areas and access some of the treasures that are hidden there. And oh, it's so good.
Okay.
Oh my god. They actually nail an open world because like it's like you accomplish a few tasks in an area and it's like, oh, we're just gonna mark everything on your map. We're not gonna make you like desperately search every corner. Oh, it feels so good.
Well, it's just like replaying Dark Souls 1, and everybody loves to talk about the level design in that game because Miyazaki did almost all of it, not literally by himself, but he was like designing them. And me playing it, and I've never really cared much for the level design in that game just because, yeah, it's really cool that you can go through the Valley of Drakes and then up and then get to the Undead Burg, the first like proper level of the game backwards. But it's like the level design isn't built for you to do that. Like it's built for you to
Right.
to make those options, but the enemies don't adjust to that or do anything about it. So it's just like, oh, now I'm approaching it from this case of, and it's like not really even a Metroidvania either because there's very few, like there's key items, like literal keys that you need to like access certain areas, but there's maybe two aspects that are Metroidvania-esque where you need one ring to fight one boss, and then you need, I mean, yes, you don't technically need like a source of light to go into the Tomb of the Giants, but you're gonna have a bad time if you don't know what the layout looks like. And even if you do know what the layout looks like, that just seems like a nightmare area to go in without a light source. So it'd be interesting to see if I'm ready for people to play Neo 3 and then go, this is better than Dark Souls 1, because that's kind of a low bar in my opinion, but it would be nice to.
I'm very excited for 3 days from now where I'm allowed to say if I think it's good or not.
I'm ready. By the way, is
All right.
everyone back and ready to go?
I'm ready.
I'm here.
All
We got Elvie?
I shall shift us back into turbo.
Okay, let me know. Are we
Give it a sec.
okay?
Go.